Danfall offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfall, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfall, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfall Africa. To learn more, visit danfall.africa.
Peace, family. We're alive again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. We'll greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We are rolling to Senegal in a couple weeks. Wow. Well, actually, let's see here. Yeah, in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, we're rolling to Senegal for the Jazz Festival. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO. Africa. Again, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO. Africa to learn more. We would love to host you on one of our excursions. Also, we're going to Kenya end of September as well. So right after Zanzibar, we're going to roll to Kenya. So if you guys are interested, visit Danfall Africa. Going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Where else are we going? Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Then we are going to Zanzibar in September, Nairobi in September, Ivory Coast in Ghana, and Freetown in November, then Benin in January for the Voodoo Festival. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO.Africa to learn more. How's everyone feeling on this beautiful Saturday here? Here in Atlanta. Again, looking forward to getting back to the continent. We are going to have a great time. They just announced the whatchamacallit, the lineup for the Jazz Festival too, which is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to that, guys. Give me 1 second. I just gotta send this off real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, South Africa, man. There's a lot going on with this xenophobia. But somebody brought up a great point the other day. There has to be a hidden hand behind this. I would think so. I would assume that there's some type of hidden hand. And guys, shout out to Taj Mahal. Y'all know I'm a rock the Taj Mahal. Somebody said South Africa is taking their marching orders from FBAs. Nah, I don't, because even the FBAs, they know better to escalate what's going on as far as xenophobia. FBAs ain't gonna escalate it to that point. FBAs are just gonna join you out online and maybe show up to a town hall meeting and yell and scream, but they not. What I see going on in South Africa, FBAs ain't gonna take it there. I know they're not. South Africa has the second. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's a lot of it has to do with the unemployment rate and jealousy, and you have the powers that be or the hidden hand that's, playing to this and exploiting, and using this for their gain. So yeah, but the Ghanaian shopkeeper that's just trying to make a living, everyday living, he's not the problem. Again, the Ghanaian, it won't escalate here because we have systems that work, like, the law. So if it were to escalate here, the police will be called and it will be dealt with. Like FBA, right, won't be allowed to go door to door forcing immigrants to check in and asking where your papers at. Like that, it won't get to that point. It definitely won't get to that point. But yeah, I just feel like someone is fueling this, some organization, some institution. They are fueling this, and someone has to get to the bottom of it. And let me be clear, this is not a reflection on all South Africans, just a few. Just a few who are making, somebody says the Boers. Right? What makes you say the Boers? What makes you say the Boers? And guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room if you want to call in and add this conversation. Like, I really don't want to play the videos, that have been circling around on the internet of, South Africans attacking, African immigrants and, asking to see their paperwork and all that. Well, I won't play the violent videos, but we'll play the video of, there was a girl that was just questioning the local, a foreigner, why they're coming to South Africa and not fixing their own countries. Let's see here. And then I saw another video that was ridiculous of a South African. Here we go. Here goes the video right here. Here we go. Let's listen to this video. This is her argument. Guys, make sure you hit that like button.
We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other. It's not. We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other. It's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. Now you came here with a traveling document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but now you decided to come and integrate in our communities. You know very well that what you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing.
Passport.
Eh? Now you are carrying your bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana there to ensure that they are getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight what they did.
Where's your papers?
Passport.
Passport.
What's the passport?
Take it out.
Let me see your passport. Let me see. Luna. Okay, tell me, who's the police officer that you are bribing to certify these things for you? Baba, let me tell you, I'm not
Check the
foolish.
date.
These things, let me tell you, ne? You know, by law, you're not supposed to certify as an immigrant. You're not allowed to certify your passport.
No.
Okay, why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
Okay.
Let's just start there. Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
You see, it was raining.
You guys now go Facebook. How you?
It was raining these days, and when you go out with the passport, sometimes it gets spoiled. That's why I satisfy it so that it won't spoil.
Baba, Ghana don't do that.
Okay.
Ghana don't do that.
All right, sharp.
Ghana
Let me
is the
show
only
you.
African country that is.
Let me show you that
on our side, they
when
are
you are
doing the
abusing
same
our
thing.
systems, ne? On
Don't do
the
that. Go
10th of
home.
April, again, the 10th of April, you entered your country when? The very same day you came back. When? Yeah, it's a proof. Yeah. Proof. Yes, the proof.
That crocodile can't go.
You went to Ghana on the 10th, and then you came back.
No,
Because here it says you exited Ghana to South Africa. When? Here it says you entered, here you exited. And it's the same date. It's the 10th of April, 10th of April.
This stamp you got there in Elop Street on the street. This is where you got the stamp.
Oh, they've got a connection here.
no.
I am telling you, that's where they buy it from.
Go ahead, Tunaja. Go ahead, Tunaja. Mute yourself. Tunaja, unmute yourself. Guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room if you want to call in after the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Tunaja, call back when you. Oh, here we go. See, here he goes. Go ahead, Tunaja. You there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hear you now. Go ahead.
Perfect. See, I don't know where to start with this because thank you for having me, by the way, and greetings to everyone out there. Because there is no clear evidence of any of the Europeans, encouraging Black South Africans to behave like this, one will have to rely on the fact that they have to hold themselves accountable, and we have to hold them accountable for what they are doing. Because after all, the Europeans are not in Ghana. Ghanaians are expressing similar sentiments towards fellow Africans and West Africans. So there are some nations out there in Africa that when they are doing well, they tend to become a little bit brainwashed. Especially in the case of South Africans, you can tell that they are a little bit brainwashed when they call themselves a rainbow nation. Because if you look at the proportion of Europeans in that country, we have more non-white people in the UK than the percentage of Europeans in South Africa. And yet, the UK doesn't call themselves a rainbow nation. So it tells you that the South African people themselves, which is Black people as usual, we always have to put ourselves at a disadvantage. Something that Europeans will never do, to do that, to embrace them. We want to be closer to them. And maybe, just maybe, that's why they tend to have this Afrophobic attitude, and tend to be more, they tend to react less to some of the heinous, horrible, terrible things their European countrymen do to their own people. I've heard of cases where, they will, attack Black people, and one of them said they thought the Black people were dogs, and the other one butchered Black women, and nothing. You don't see anything from them. But a trader that is married to a South African, you see them harassing those people. And the only evidence I have of Europeans fomenting problems among Black people, it was by a white man that came on YouTube and said that they often go into the Black communities and create divisions amongst them. That was before the end of apartheid regime. So I don't know whether it's still carrying on, but I won't be surprised because the elites in that country are Europeans, and they are going to control the narrative. They control the media. And even in Nigeria too, the media is by and large controlled by the West. If you look at the people that own them behind the scenes, this is why they condition our people not to be against their way of thinking or put them on a pedestal. And that is what you see in South Africa. They put the non-whites at a pedestal, but fellow Africans, they want to go after them. It's a bit of a shame, and I get a feeling that part of the problem is we Africans. I like what they said. There was something that they were telling that man that I think is quite relevant, but they are saying it from the point of view of a kind of hate and xenophobia, where they are saying, go to your country and fix it. There is something about that that is also true, that we as Africans have to go to our countries and fix it. This is why I said there is the concept of if you want to be Pan-Africanist, you also have to be nationalist. And I thought that was a kind of against Pan-Africanism. But it turns out that that was what Kwame Nkrumah was doing himself, because he understood if you want to be Pan-Africanist, you have to be strong nationally too. And I think maybe Africans should learn that. And Pan-Africanists should also understand that. It shouldn't be about, hey, go away from our country. It's going to be about, go to your country, fix it. This is not where you're going to fix your country. And I can resonate with that. But the fact that they don't do that to Indians, they don't do that to Europeans, that is a big question that South Africans need to answer. And I feel bad for them, because their country is still being controlled by Europeans. They barely have any power. And we as Black people, we are champions at putting ourselves at a disadvantage. And South Africans are proving it again, how we put ourselves at a disadvantage anytime we get a chance. We never put ourselves on the front foot and say, you know what, let's not make it about us. Let's go after these Europeans and say, you know what, all the stuff you have, now we want to take control of it. If you want to be in the country, this is how it's going to be. You have to transfer knowledge to the Black South Africans. You have to transfer this in control to Black South Africans. You have to have specific schedule for doing these things. South Africa has been, they've ended apartheid for about 30 years now. And barely you can see Black engineers controlling the nuclear power plants, Black engineers controlling their advanced technology. You can barely see that. Even if they sent 10,000 Black people overseas to go and study up to PhD level every year since the end of apartheid, they would have had enough by now. But somehow they still haven't done it. I don't know whether to blame Europeans for it. On that one, I have to hold, is the Black South Africans you hold accountable, just as I hold Nigerians accountable. We can't keep blaming Europeans for all those sort of things, because these guys have control of their country. They cannot do anything about it. And when I think about African Americans, how I relate this to African Americans, the question you ask yourself is, if African Americans had the power South Africans had, would they behave the same? Maybe they would. I don't know. Because based on the way what we are seeing here, it looks like there's something about our people that put ourselves at a disadvantage. We prioritize attacking each other than going after the greater challenge that we need to deal with, that actually change our lot. If we attack each other, how is that going to get us anywhere? They've been attacking Zimbabweans. How has that helped them? So, but it is what it is. And I just hope that things change. And I think if Nigeria gets better, Ghana gets better, other African, they start seeing other countries get better. And I think maybe Africans are beginning to learn that lesson, actually. Maybe what South Africa is doing, and Ghana is doing, Nigerians are beginning to get it to an extent. If you ask me, there are signs that this needs to change. And you see that the Dangote refinery is expanding. They're even talking about building a refinery. Dangote wants to build a refinery in Tanzania, of all places. His refinery is going to be outputting 1.4 million barrels in the next couple of years, in a world where people are needing petroleum products. South Africa literally imports 70% of their crude oil that they get from outside, from Nigeria. They get petroleum products from Nigeria. So in time, I believe this attitude is going to change, but it's up to African countries individually to do something about it. They can't just keep complaining about South Africans. It's easy to just complain that South Africans are being hateful. It is true. But maybe we should fix our country instead of worrying about going to South Africa all the time. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
No problem. Let me unmute Ed. ASDM, go ahead.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm the one who posted about this. First of all, let me introduce myself. Maybe you guys don't know me. My name is Karanja. I'm from Kenya, but currently I'm outside the country, but I'm going back soon. So I joined this discussion because it's interesting, you know. But the question about xenophobia in South Africa is quite black and white for anybody to see. This thing is funded by the Boers. The Boers are in control of the country. When Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1994, there is a deal he had to sign, and he signed off the country's riches to the white people. So the white people control South Africa. Most of the South Africans, the black South Africans, are living in modern day colonization. So you should understand that most South Africans are living in modern day colonization. They have been subjugated in their own land for the last 300 years. They were nearly free, but they are not yet free. And if you guys know about these old seers and old prophets of African societies, we had our prophets. The prophet said that unless South Africa is free, Africa shall never be prosperous. South Africa is our heart. South Africa has to be liberated for Africans and by Africans. But this Boer is very cunning. The Boers have created this illusion of hate. They have hired some street thugs. These are street thugs, the people who can go and murder a fellow African. This is a street thug. This is not a nationalist. This is not a patriot. This is a street thug. If you go and kill somebody, rape, burn them alive, still there. These are street thugs who have been paid, and then they create this illusion in the media, the illusion in the social media, and then they create this illusion. Even the South Africans themselves get manipulated, and some of them get paid, and they start talking this tribal politics. There is tribalism in Africa. Everybody knows that. I am from Kenya. We have a lot of tribalism. But this xenophobic attacks is not about tribalism. The South Africans are not free. And let me give you a snippet of history. When the South Africans were fighting for freedom, we in Kenya helped them because Kenya was independent by then. We helped Nelson Mandela. And even when Nelson Mandela was released from prison, he came to Kenya to see the grave of one of the heroes who fought against the British during the rebellion, during the independence war. So these people want to be free. Nelson Mandela wanted to be free, but he was in prison for 27 years. He was an old man when he was released. He was broken, and he signed off the country's riches for political freedom. But most of the South Africans, yes, we have some rich black South Africans, but we are talking about the majority of the black South Africans are living under colonization. So these xenophobia attacks, believe it or not, they are being funded by an evil hand, a very evil hand, and this is not an African hand. The evil hand. Why is there only xenophobia in South Africa? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Because the devil, the white man is there. Sorry for my language. The white man is there. The white man is there, and he is causing all this trouble. And unless the Boer is kicked to the sea or back to Netherlands, Africa shall never be prosperous until the black South Africans. Africa is not yet free. We have a debt to pay to our brothers in South Africa. We have to liberate them. And that is why you see these xenophobia attacks. Because they know the minute most Africans come to that country, the other black Africans will rise up easily. It is black and white. So they create this xenophobia and divide the South Africans themselves. Because if you look at Zimbabweans and South Africans, they are coming from one tribe. The tribes of Zimbabwe and the tribes of South Africa are the same tribes. So you can see there is somebody messing with their brains, messing with their minds. South Africa needs to be liberated. And personally, for me, I am 90% sure these guys are the ones behind this nonsense because I know how this is politics. Xenophobia is politics. This is politics. This is politics. And somebody is controlling them. And the guy who can come up with this evil idea is those evil Boers. They have stayed in South Africa for 300 years. Those guys don't want to leave. And we as Africans have failed because the African Union should have united, kicked these asses out of South Africa or sanction South Africa or something like that because apartheid is not finished. The South Africans are still living in subjugation. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Much love to you guys. God bless.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wakoya.
Greetings, everyone. Nice
Hey,
to see you
Wakoya,
again.
we're going to synagogue next month.
But you send me something privately. I may be able to do a short one, very short. It's
Okay.
not easy to be an Pan-African entrepreneur. I'm just so busy, but I'm trying. I'll try. And I wanted to say hi to you, Niger. I haven't seen him on one of
Hey,
these in a long time.
Wakoya, are you on speakerphone?
I am on speakerphone. What's wrong
You
with
kind
it?
of sound far from the phone a little bit, like muffled.
Is it better now?
Yeah, we'll roll with it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I totally disagree with the other gentleman who spoke. I don't think this is the Boers at all. It's so obvious. This is political people internally. I think it's part of the internal politics to fight within themselves. And unfortunately, they scapegoat the foreigners. Unfortunately, they also have certain nationalities that they compete with them. You know, Nigerians, for example, they find them as competitive. Ghanaians, not so much. But recently, they've started with the Ghanaians. And it's so ironic because during the days of apartheid, Ghana hosted a lot of South African students.
Hey, Corey, you sound real muffled.
All right, let me turn it off and come back. Anyway, I'll join you again. I'll come back and then you let me
Well,
in.
you sound fine now. Like, I guess just talk directly into the phone if you can.
Talking into the phone now.
Okay, yeah, you sound muffled again. I don't know.
I'll come back. I'll come back. Just give me a minute. I'll come back.
Okay.
I'll come back.
All right, go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah, that phone is funny, man. It's like when she says she's going and he wants to be clear.
Yeah.
Right.
When she says she's going, it sounds fine, but then when she's talking, it starts muffling. That's weird. Yeah.
So, but you see, I heard what as DM said. I think Africans, there is something about us that wants to double down on senseless actions. And I see that in Nigeria, and I see that in West Africa. Some of us manifest it more like on a higher level where you notice it as xenophobia. Because I just saw a video of Wodemaya saying that when he went to Zambia in 2019 or so, and that he almost got mugged or attacked because they thought he was Nigerian, you know, and we're calling him a terrorist. So he had to go back to a kind of, de-traumatize himself from that event. They said he couldn't come out of his room for 3 days because of the treatment he got. So we as Africans, we seem to have forgotten what matters most. We do things that I think let's put it this way, we prioritize going after each other. So it's not only South Africa. I see that in Nigeria all the time. When we are supposed to focus on the bigger things or the macro level things that are causing our problems, we focus on each other. Like in Nigeria now, when they say Christian genocide, but they refuse to understand that there are not that much Christians in Niger, there are not that much Christians in Mali, but they are all being attacked too. So they don't understand the chain of event. Even if the Americans tell them, and you find that all these people are sponsoring terrorists all over the place, they still focus on the Fulanis. That it's only the Fulani. They don't understand that if you don't deal with the macro level responders of these things and the people that create the environments for these things, you're not going to solve it. And I don't think we should be making an excuse for our people, because I feel like some of us deliberately refuse to learn. We just refuse to learn, and I think maybe something is hard to force us to learn. Because if you look at what is going on in Iran right now, if you look at the ones that were in the diaspora, they were saying that they should attack Iran. You know, all these some diaspora and Iranians wanted America to attack Iran. Many of them are turned tail now. When they hear that Trump wants to destroy the open, they turn tail, because sometimes events need to force you to see clearly what you're about to do to your own people. And our people seem not to have woken up to that. And I see that repeatedly. It's like Fulanis are not in DRC. Why is DRC like that? But some people will focus, no, Fulanis are the only problem. They are the Islamist militant. But yet there's no Islamist militant in South Africa. There's no Islamist militants that are causing it in DRC and many African countries. So we have to be a little bit more common sense thinking and link things together in a rational manner, instead of just being too focused and locked into hating a specific group of people. And this thing is universal within the continent. And I think partly is to do with we don't have any overarching enemy that we can focus on. Like other countries, they have enemies. Like Iranians have the Great Satan. America has China or Islamic militia. Everybody has something. But what nation? What do Africans have other than white supremacy, and which is quite a vague term? It is very strange. But please go ahead, Roka.
Yeah, I'm back. Is this better now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Okay, thank you. I totally wanted to come in and rebuff what Tunaja and the previous gentleman had said. It's so easy for us Africans to want to point to external forces when actually the problems are internal. And I think if we really identify the internal problems, we can resolve these things rather than creating or allowing ourselves to be so fanciful. Look, there's a competition for resources. It's as basic as that. The most powerful kingdoms or most powerful societies of our time are in conflict with the modern world. So you have the Zulus or and I'm being in South Africa now. We can talk about the Fulani part also, where these institutions or these established kingdoms were weakened through modern infrastructure, let's say modern governance. So they really have very little power only within their own tribal settings, within their own people. And that's their power base. And instead of modern governance, finding a way to harness these things positively, you have politicians who, for whatever reason, would hit on the fire to create confusion within these tribal groupings. Because honestly, when I hear people say simple things about tribalism and just, oh, Africans are tribal, listen, they've been tribal for thousands of years. They fought, they found their ages in the power centers, they've paid tribute. So these are not new things. But when we try to make the things extraordinary, then it's like this big monster out there we can't fight. So I think in South Africa, the problem really is within their internal politics. And when they have these political events coming up, then they try to distract the people by identifying the local competition. And these usually are the immigrants who come, and most immigrants, when you go into a country, you work hard, just like in the US. Immigrants come, they build, it's just the immigrant experience. So they are very easy to identify because one, they don't speak the language, they don't look like you go after them because you have to find a scapegoat. So honestly, if South Africans can look internally, I think they will begin to find who the culprits are, who are the ones influencing these things periodically. South Africans were in Ghana for many, many, many generations. In fact, during the Nkrumah time, right up to the late 80s, 90s, when I went to college here in Ghana, we had South Africans. They lived free. They had free accommodation. The Ghana government maintained them to get their degrees. And there was no hate. Where are those people now? They have to speak up, and I know some of them are. That they have had Nigerians pay to the ANC. We've had this African unity thing. And it's the people of now who have forgotten. And their elders need to remind them, these Africans are not your enemies. They actually helped you. But who's speaking that? It's because, again, it is somebody in South Africa's political advantage to be quiet and have these people fight so they can pay attention to other things. And I'll rest my case until the next my next contribution. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, KO. Unmute yourself. KO, unmute yourself.
Yeah, it looks like he's been locked in. See, let me respond quickly to what Rokoya said. I think we are all saying similar stuff. I never, held on to tribal stuff because Europeans have proven themselves to be actually deadlier when it comes to being tribal. They do all kinds of damage to each other. But what you said also reflects my point. When the South Africans were facing the apartheid regime, Africans were focused and united, and they were more conscious of their togetherness. But when that went, you saw, and when the more that went away, the more we turned on each other and we didn't care anymore about anything really. Nigeria was in the process of building ballistic missiles during that period. They started a ballistic missile program, and that is why we even ventured into nuclear power generation. And I saw some of this information just this week. So it tells you that when you have an adversary or a challenger somewhere, people wake up. And I think what South Africa is doing is waking Nigerians up. I can tell you that, or what Ghanaians are doing. They have done some things that I feel Nigerians are beginning to pick up on. And you can see within the Nigerian state itself, the way they are moving, some of the things that they are doing, they are beginning to show signs that they are beginning to move. The people themselves, you can tell. So I feel like if people feel, they don't feel like something is challenging them, they don't have much of a need to wake up. And this is why I keep saying maybe there is something needs to happen to jot our people to understand that we have a shared interest here. We have to pull our weight together and try to make whatever we want to do count for our own benefit. Because so far, everything we've been doing is for non-Africans. We travel overseas, we export everything overseas, we barely trade with each other. If you try to move from one border to the other, you have so much problems. You know, I saw a video recently about a Kenyan that was coming to Nigeria. I was so furious. He was crossing the border into Nigeria. They held him from morning to evening. And you know the one that even hurt me the most? He said he saw Nigerians paying to go inside Nigeria. People have to pay to return back into their own country. This is the Africa we live in. So dysfunctional in some ways that then who do you blame for all this? It's because we are not focused. And this problem is getting worse and worse on so many levels. And I just hope that with the signs that I'm seeing in Nigeria keeps moving forward, because we can't keep going on like why the rest of the world, they are banding together in billions and trading like crazy, because these things have consequences. They are going to be growing and developing faster while we are falling further and further behind. And we're going to invite our own demise if we carry on like that. So I really feel that this is a serious matter, and it's not about pointing fingers. And personally, I'm not even sure I should point that much fingers on South Africans. I'm focusing on Nigeria right now, and I hope Ghanaians focus on Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenyans do their own thing. Because if we all start doing stuff, I feel like Africans, they compete with each other. When Nigeria starts doing better, Ghana will learn from it. If Ghana starts doing better, we're going to start challenging each other. That is what I want to see, and that's what it should be like. And I don't think we really, all this little tit for tit fight that we are fighting right now is minor compared to what other people have done to each other. But other people have some serious blood feud against each other. And so I don't see our problem as big. I just feel like we need to focus on building our own countries. And I think Nigeria is doing some things. I don't know what other countries are doing. So maybe they can share what they have seen that indicates some change. Thank you.
All right, let me pass the mic to KO. Go ahead, KO. Unmute yourself. KO, unmute yourself. All right, we do super chats. Landmark 22, thank you for $2 holla. 2 million Europeans illegal immigrants to South Africa. KJ 6998, thank you for $1.99 holla. South Africa is the FBA of the continent, sadly. All right, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the convo, you can. KO, you got to unmute yourself if you want to add to the conversation.
But let me ask you, Diana.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to respond to you too, Nigel.
Okay, go ahead. I went to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say that, you know, while you were talking about all the African countries need to basically compete and all that, which is great. I mean, we really need to compete. But you have to also place that within this context of the African Free Trade Agreement that was signed, right? African countries really need rather than to really compete, like you're saying, I think we really need to work together and integrate rather than see ourselves as competition for others, because the market is so wide that honestly, if we can find partners from Ghana to Nigeria, Ghana to Togo, whatever, and whatever you're building it together, I think that's a far better advantage than for us to start competing. Obviously, we can learn from each other. We can take notes about what others are doing, but I don't really feel comfortable with this competition.
I think maybe the word I mean healthy competition. There is something like healthy competition that drives this in innovation, and I think that's what needs to happen. If you are to compete, I mean, it should be healthy one.
Yeah, because let me tell you, one thing that really is very distracting when you scan social media, I don't know about you, but I get really peeved when all you do is read Nigerians and Ghanaians fighting about everything. The Ghanaians don't have this. I mean, it's like so petty, but at the same time, it's very distractive. That kind of energy where we feel like we're competing for everything, I don't find it interesting, honestly. I feel like
do you know what I think, Rokoya? I
yeah.
think that what that is leading to is the people becoming more conscious. When people do that, they become more conscious of themselves as a nation. And I actually think the Ghanaians are the ones doing most of this. They are waking Nigerians up. And I said it before. That Ghanaians, South Africans, they are waking Nigerians up. The insults we've received. Your own president made a comment recently. And Nigerians are beginning to pay attention that this thing is getting out of control. And if you look at all the nations all the ones that are insulting us, many of them rely on us for so many things. And they just keep constantly going at us and going at us. And their citizens are in our country. With nothing happens to them, it's just getting out of. And look at like when Ghanaians now, like the year of return, or they go and do the UN stuff, or even the ISHO speed. I knew it turns out that in the end it was Ghanaians that organized it. So all these things they do themselves. They don't say, okay, let's bring everybody in. So you see the spirit that you are describing right now. That's not what Ghana does. Ghana spends most of the time nitpicking on the sidelines.
Please, you don't speak like that. You don't know. You are assuming you don't know. I'm telling you
that's
that
what happens.
That's what it
guys,
looks like.
Guys, we are losing the plot.
Yeah. That's not the truth actually, because I'm in Ghana right now, and I know these things. There's always a private person who sees the Nigerian market and wants to work with the Nigerians. But the fact that we're not successful might be something that we need to query. But to think that because Ghana does things individually means that it doesn't try to bring African countries in, you got it all wrong. The Pan-African spirit is really alive in Ghana. It may not be showing because we go ahead and do it anyway. But anyway, I'm not speaking like that because it's my country. I'm just saying, let's just move forward.
Why is it that Ghana, whenever they act, is for their own financial self-interest? I don't have any issue with them doing it. But when you use Pan-Africanism to enrich yourself and make yourself look good, that it doesn't seem genuine to me. And especially when you're in West Africa, you are the most xenophobic one. This is the issue that I'm trying to call out. I'm not saying that we should not work together. We should. And maybe some of the things that Ghanaians are doing recently, like I said, it may help us as Nigerians to wake up and get our act together, because quite a lot of things are not going the way they are supposed to go. But like I said, if Ghanaians want to be sure that they are Pan-African, be Pan-African. Don't do Pan-African, me, Ghana, only when I am gaining only. Not for any other people, for only Ghana to gain from Pan-Africanism. That is not Pan-Africanism. That is not being your brother's keeper. That is Ghana putting itself first, just like the treat
I totally disagree with you, but let's leave it at that, because the conversation is about maybe you and I privately can share information. I don't think that you get it right, because there's been lots of effort, and if you are in your political space within Nigeria, you will know the conversations that I had, even as far as ECOWAS conversations that I had towards these things, and the blocks that push it away. There's a lot that we as common Africans, we come on these social media things and we talk, and we just speculate. We don't know. It's important that we make an effort to know. You'll be surprised. It's not always what is portrayed online. But you're right, though. I agree. Ghana must be more Pan-African and force the Pan-African thing. I'll tell you something anyway, for free. Tomorrow, Erica Bennett, who is the diasporan ambassador here in Ghana, it's her 65th birthday party. And I'm going tomorrow. It's going to be a Pan-African event. African Americans, Caribbeans, people from AU and everything. She was an AU ambassador for a long time, representing the 6th district, of which is the diasporans. Check out her profile online. Very powerful woman. She's been in Ghana all these years. Tomorrow is her 65th birthday. Let's wish her happy birthday. And it's going to be a Pan-African event. If we're done, I'll share some pictures with you. Things are happening, but people just don't know. Anyway,
I agree with you that on the bigger scheme of things,
let's talk about something else. I want
to give let me contribute.
It's all right.
You shouldn't be a Ghana Nigeria thing. Let's just
I was trying to agree with you on something you said. I was trying to agree with you on something you said about
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. Okay. Who is talking? Is me or is another person?
It's you. Go ahead. It's you.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So I've been hearing the conversations, and I hear both of you guys have the idea. Everybody wants to work together. But the question is, why isn't West Africa doing what we are doing in East Africa? Because if you check what we are doing in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi has joined us, South Sudan is joining us, Somalia is joining us. So the East Africa community, all of you guys, I know you know what's going on there. We have the free movement of people, one passport. We are integrating the market slowly. Now with this deal that was made by this guy called Aliko Dangote with our president, and the president of Uganda was there, and the minister of Tanzania was there. So they did the big launch for the Tanga refinery, where the oil will be coming from Uganda, and then it will be going by pipe to Tanzania to be refined, and then it will be pumped all across East Africa, because the pipe will connect all the East African community countries, all the way to South Sudan, all the way down to Rwanda. That is the master plan, all the way to DRC, facing the Atlantic Ocean. We are doing it in East Africa, and believe you me, in West Africa it can happen. The only problem with West Africa is that West Africa is very rich. East Africa is rich, but West Africa is rich in human resources more than East Africa. Obviously, the human resource in West Africa is too much, so the guys have disorganized that place. Even these Islamists you're hearing about, they are fighting the free trade agreement. That's why they're fighting. That is why there's Islamists in the Sahel. Those Islamists are being funded to destroy this African unity, to cause problems, because if there's insecurity, there cannot be free trade, you see? So even this xenophobia, all these things are connected. You guys should understand this. And the way you said we need one enemy, we know our enemy, my dear brother, Mr. Niger. Our enemy has shown himself. Our enemy is the person with white skin, whether it is the Chinese, whether it is the Russian, whether it is the American, whether it is the European. All of them should be treated as a main enemy, and not an enemy as in hatred of war, an enemy in terms of sabotage. The sabotage that has been inflicted in the African economic system, the sabotage that has been inflicted in the African psychological mindset, everything has been destroyed, and we cannot go back to what was destroyed. In Kenya, we have a saying, a Swahili saying, maziwa ikimwagika hayazoleki. That means don't cry over spilt milk. What has happened has happened. Now we are here. Our forefathers of the new republic, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, the likes of Thomas Sankara, the likes of Haile Selassie, the likes of Gamal Abdel Nasser, the likes of Nelson Mandela, the likes of Jomo Kenyatta, all these guys, Patrice Lumumba, all these guys gave us a blueprint. They gave us the blueprint of how to continue the journey of independence. But we did not follow that blueprint. Why didn't we follow it? Now we are where we are. Africa is in crisis. The huge population in Africa needs something. The youth of Africa cannot continue. Believe you me, something big is happening. Something big is happening. For you guys who don't know me, I'm the chairman of the African Social Democratic Movement. You can check my videos in my YouTube channel. I'm going very soon to launch it back home proper. The time for talking, the time for sitting on the sidelines is over. Now it's time to be on the ground and make real change. Join together with all the people, because everybody wants change, and the ground is right for. We are talking about it like a revolution. It might be a bloody revolution, but it is a bloodless revolution, because the crisis in Africa needs to be solved now. And it is very simple. Look at what we have done in East Africa community. We have integrated even one language. Swahili is being taught in Ugandan schools. Swahili is being taught in Burundi schools. Swahili is being taught in Rwandan schools. Swahili is being taught in Sudanese schools, South Sudanese schools. So we have integrated it. It is possible. Africans are ready to work together. If it is about xenophobia, I'm surprised to hear people still clashing. Xenophobia it can happen. We understand you. Sometimes you see a foreigner, even sometimes in your own country, you see somebody from another neighborhood. Maybe something can happen. But the issue is, for the last 2 years, Kenya is visa free for all Africans. I don't know if you know that. For all you guys here, Kenya has been visa free for the last 2 years. We have Congolese there, we have Nigerians, we have Moroccans, we have Egyptians, we have South Africans. It is bustling in Nairobi. The money that is raining down in Nairobi, you guys will not believe it. Even that's why I'm going back. Business is booming. Everything. The Dangote deal was made this week. It has been launched this week. The East Africa next year, we are holding the AFCON. Africa, the whole of Africa will be there, visa free to come to Kenya. All countries in Africa are coming. There's no hatred. We in Kenya, I don't know if you guys know the history of Kenya. I don't know if you know the history of the Mau Mau. I don't know if you know the history of the Mau Mau, the people who fought the British.
I think we are.
The
People like us tend to have with the Pan-African vision, tend to
yes.
Avail ourselves of that. And I agree with you that the SAPC or you guys are doing wonderful things. But
ESC, But what I'm just trying to say, it can be done even in West Africa. And what
it's
we
not
want to
possible.
do,
I'll tell you why.
No.
Let me tell you why.
It might. Okay.
There are some structural things that are so different in West Africa, much to our disappointment. You understand that in East Africa, the contiguity of language, Kenya is English speaking, Tanzania is English speaking, Burundi is English speaking, all the way down. Uganda is English speaking. Unfortunately for West Africa, that breakdown in terms of the Berlin Conference was so crafty that they made sure that in West Africa, the English-speaking countries are surrounded by French-speaking countries only. So Ghana has all 4 borders across, with the obviously third one is the Indian Ocean. It's all French-speaking. Then they go to Nigeria. Then Nigeria has surrounded by Niger and all that. You go over Ghana, you go to Ivory Coast, then you go to Liberia, Sierra Leone. So what they actually did was they created this real barriers of language. I mean, official language, of course. The people themselves speak their own ethnic language. But even the governance language, tariffs, trade, douane, so the systems are so fragmentalized that until these African countries, these French countries and English and French, it's like you have a checkboard. French, English, French, English. It makes it so difficult to integrate these colonial systems, which we are all still.
My dear sister.
Yes, please.
My dear sister, these colonial barriers can be broken. In East Africa, we broke them through bloody conflict. You know the war in Congo. You know the war in Sudan. You know the war in Somalia. You know the wars that rocked Uganda and Tanzania. You know the military coup. Kenya has never been rocked by a major war, but we have been involved in all the wars that are surrounded us. Why do you think all those wars happened? All those wars happened to break the chains of colonization, my sister. We broke the chains. No. If it must be, my sister, if the Islamists are the ones being funded to destroy the ECOWAS free trade agreement, it is time to face them. If it is time to face them and fight them in the battlefield, because the future of Africa is at stake, my dear sister. We have to be radical. The world has changed since Donald Trump got elected. You guys, even in the spiritual realm, the world has changed. So the days of sitting on the sidelines and just observing and saying no, we have in East Africa we did it. If you look at all the East African countries who are in the East African community, even in Burundi there was a huge civil war. These civil wars were to break the chains. Even the Rwandan genocide, it was to break the chains of colonization, to break that chain, that hatred, that nonsense of tribalism and hating somebody from another country. All these wars were to remove that. I don't know if you understand that stain that was put on us by this cunning white colonizer. You have to do it. And I'm not saying violence is the answer, but it might come a time, my sister, liberating Africa will not be a peaceful matter. Don't think it would be an easy matter. We cannot liberate Africa just by talking. We have to be on the ground, and we have to be ready to put our blood, sweat, and tears on this great endeavor. Unless we have that mentality, we will never succeed. We love one another. It doesn't matter. Nigeria and Ghana, these are foreign ideologies, these are foreign borders, these are political entities created by the white man. These are the English you are talking about, the French. These are languages brought by. In East Africa, we have Swahili. Swahili is the one that is being taught all across. English in Rwanda they were speaking French. In Burundi they were speaking French. In DRC they speak French. But Swahili, all of us we are learning. Kenya and Tanzania, Uganda, Congo, they speak Swahili. So all the other countries are learning. My sister, the language is not the problem. The problem is well known. The people who are what can I say? The people who are making West Africa not to join as an economic power are well known. The powers are well known, my dear sister. The people who have been doing it, because Kwame Nkrumah had this plan. This plan is not new, my dear sister. And my dear everybody, sorry, I'm not singling you out. Yani, all you guys, this plan is not new. Thomas Sankara had it. He was from West Africa. They killed him. Kwame Nkrumah had it. They imprisoned him. So this idea is not new. There is somebody who killed Sankara. Those powers are well known. The people who imprisoned Kwame Nkrumah, those people are well known. The people who caused the Biafra War and all this, these people are well known. You know, the enemy is well known, my dear sister. If you look in the fine details, you will see who the enemy is. And the enemy who is the enemy of Nigeria, who is the enemy of Kenya, is one enemy who has been, is like the devil. You know, it's like the devil. He has been destroying Africa slowly, slowly, slowly. But we are this close. Fate is on our side, my dear brothers, my dear sister. Fate is on our side. God has decided to bless Africa. And he has blessed us with enormous human resource, the youngest population in the world, the fastest growing population in the world, the beautiful land. We have been blessed. Now it is up to us just to wake up and take destiny by our hands. This is our time. There is no other time that will ever come as ripe as this. Thank you, guys.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I've heard what you said, and the idea of change coming through violence is something that I don't know. I'm not for that. I just know that structurally, West Africa has so many different scenarios that makes it so hard for the integration, because attempts have been made. If you, I don't know if you were aware, when Thomas Sankara was in power, he and Jerry Rawlings, who was the revolutionary leader of Ghana at the time, they tried very hard, and the literature is online. Yeah, they tried to integrate Ghana, just the two countries, open border trade, because they were both brother pioneering soldiers, and as well as Pan-Africanists. But the technical aspect of aligning, even people crossing the border, I've seen some of those documents. French, they want this tariff, they don't want this tariff. It became almost like a quagmire. Two, unfortunately, he died. But when I reviewed those materials, I saw how complex it is to even try just two leaders who saw the world together. They gave authority to their technical functionaries, make these things work. But just because we had adopted a francophone and an anglophone system of colonial administration, trying to correlate those two, it wasn't easy. It caused a lot. There were meetings. It wasn't easy. So when we talk, I like to be pragmatic also. I like to say the vision must never waver, but let's be aware of the constraints so that we plan for those constraints. Otherwise, it's just a pipe dream. How does Togo and Ghana, or Burkina Faso and Ghana, translate even things across their border? How do you cross the border? Crossing Ghana to Togo, which I do all the time. You go from Ghana, they look at your travel paper, they accept it. You go to Togo, they say, we don't want this one. You got to pay. Just this border, I'm forever I am screaming across the border. And guess what? I'm crossing the border like an average person, just walking across. Do you know how hard it is to just cross that border? We need to be even able to correlate those things. ECOWAS will say they're doing it, but they'll go back and the Francophones will take a position. I'm so glad the Sahelian, the AES has moved out of it. Maybe Cote d'Ivoire and Benin will wake up. And those countries frustrate a lot of the efforts, but these are real. I'm not blaming anybody and saying this, But we as young people coming up and wanting to make change, let's be aware so that our change is pragmatic, not pipe dreams. And I'll rest on that one for now.
All right, can I speak next?
Yeah, go ahead, man. So let me read the super
Yeah.
chats first. Let's see here. At Ata Jacob, thank you for the 99 cent euros. Crenshaw Grinder 4725, thank you for $5 holla. West Africans should be models of tolerance and Pan-Africanism. If South Africa sees a model in West Africa, they would be more credible. African Goddess, thank you for the 4,000 naira. We must know who we are as a people. We are one people, the African people. Miss Sandman, thank you for 999 holla. West Africa can overcome these language barriers with real-time translation devices and earbuds and smartphones. We just need a little creativity to overcome. All right, go ahead, man. Say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say is just like that video of the Ghanaian guy was just like very troubling. And the reason why I say that's troubling is because literally in 2023, the Ghanaian government and the South African government signed an agreement with Ghanaians to have visa-free arrival in South Africa. You know, because what I'm seeing is that pretty much they're saying that, you know, they got to be legal to come in their country. But I'm seeing that even if they are legal, they still get hostile. And I can understand where they're coming from because it might be just limited resources or stuff. They don't have that much thing. But the issue that I have is I seen a video of a South African brother. He went to a Pakistani store. It was Pakistani and Chinese. And he's sitting there begging them to give them jobs. And that just looks like, it just looks crazy. Ask another group to provide for you jobs if you guys could just hire amongst yourselves. Because the only people that's going to look out for yourself is yourself. Like, that's just like insane. And then on top of that, also you have the Europeans in Cape Town that are overstayers. But the problem is that you don't see them on the street because most of them got like virtual jobs and stuff, or they have private jobs, and you know they don't give them that same energy. But and then from what I'm seeing too, they're saying that also too because the Afrikaners and them they have the same history. They're not worried about them. It's just they're worried about the other Africans, which is like I said, it's crazy. I understand where they're coming from, but to me, it just sounds crazy. Because if anything, for right now, they got to hold their government responsible for what they're doing, and they got to just create jobs and just help themselves, like what the AS is doing. Because when the AS try to get a highway done, they charge them a lot of money, and they're like, you know what, bump that. We're just going to do it ourselves. So I'm saying that the South African family, man, I hope you guys get the situation fixed because it just looks kind of crazy. Because like you got other businesses outside of Africa and also in other African countries, and I would hate to see a situation which people will start burning South African businesses and stuff because of what's happening in South Africa. I mean, I definitely don't want to see that, but I mean, I hope it works out for the best. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents about it. Oh,
All right,
and
SMH, go ahead.
All right, can you guys hear me?
You need to speak up, son. Talking to the phone.
Yeah, I'm on speaker right now. That's probably why. Can you guys hear me better now?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I don't think the what's going on in South Africa is that much different from what's going on in the States. To be honest, with the whole FBA thing, it's literally the exact same playbook, and it's just amazing. And you have to give credit to the Europeans, right? Because you have black people fighting.
Hey, estimate you're breaking up now. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
I'll call back. Hold on.
Okay, all right. All right, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, thank you for the super chats. I'll put the link in the chat room if you want to call in after the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. The link is in the chat room. Again, links in the chat room if you want to call in after the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the combo. To Niger, I didn't know but Nigeria gave South Africa doing apartheid like $250 million or close to $1 billion.
Oh, and also too, Guinea gave Mandela a diplomatic passport, and also gave the same thing to Mayor Sakaba from South Africa when she got kicked out of South Africa during apartheid.
Mm.
But because I was reading comments on Facebook too, like some of this young generation, they were just saying that how nobody wasn't there to help them. I'm just like, man, that's a lie. A lot of African countries was there back in the day helping. But
yeah, guys, we helped them. Even Kenya, we helped them. Even the people who were fighting on their side, they were training in Kenya and Tanzania.
Right,
the ANC. They were training in Kenya and Tanzania. We were giving them aid. We showed them the tactics. We showed them everything.
Right.
This guy, South Africa, let me tell you one thing. South Africa is the responsibility of every African. That's what I told you guys. If South Africa is not free, no African country will ever be prosperous because our brothers are still under slavery. Our brothers are still under the boots of the colonizers in the year 2026. And that is why you see this xenophobia. That is why you see South Africa wanted to join BRICS so that they can remove themselves from the African community. That is why you see they are aligning themselves with China and Iran and Russia, because there is somebody behind them, the Boer. The Boer has always been anti-American. Everybody knows that because the Americans put sanctions on the apartheid regime. All this is connected. So the issue is South Africa needs to be liberated. And whether they talk about xenophobia or not, we will come for it and it will be returned to its rightful owners. Whether the South Africans themselves, led by Julius Malema, will do it, okay. But either way, Elon Musk is not an African. This is a white man from Netherlands. Then they will never be Africans. These are foreign invaders who came to Africa and they refused to go back home. The other white people went back home. Why have they never went back home? And that is why you see South Africa is very important to every African's mind, because we helped them. We fought with them. We supported them. We gave them money. We boycotted Olympics. We refused to go to football World Cups so that we stand up for against apartheid. So South Africa is our duty. Thank you, guys.
All right, go ahead, Lee. Unmute yourself, Lee.
All right. I'm actually South African. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, I'm actually South African, and I want to speak on what the guy just said. At first, that was not my focus. My focus was just trying to get your perspectives on how you guys view South Africa and so forth. But the guy is saying that South Africa needs to be liberated. My brother, we didn't ask you for that. That's our concern. We know our problems, and you can't dictate to us from wherever you are, because you might know our struggles, but you might not understand them. So don't think you understand our problems. We know and understand. We live them every day. In fact, our parents who lived during apartheid and our grandparents are still alive. So we know everything about apartheid. I was only born 6 years after apartheid, and you can't force me to be angry at white people. Okay, I even though I'm known as a born free, I was born after 6 years after apartheid. You can't tell me now to be angry at white people. It doesn't make sense. When my perspective, what I see here on the ground is that today white people don't sell drugs, they don't traffic children, they don't do all these things, they don't hijack buildings. If you look at the city that I was born, you can search this on your own. Germiston. I was born in a city in Johannesburg, east of Johannesburg, which is Germiston. We used to bath and prepare ourselves the day before going to the city, to that town. It's not a city, it's a town, Germiston. But today, it's so, since there was an influx of foreign African foreign immigrants, and you look at the state of that city today, it doesn't look like, it looks like a slum today. And you guys are saying, no, we must be angry at white people who contribute positively to the economy compared to you guys. If you guys brought value to us, do you think we would say we don't want to live with you anymore? We wouldn't. We are not stupid. We are not savages. We are human too. You guys come to South Africa empty-handed and you compete with the poor and you expect us to welcome you. We only had freedom for 30 years. We didn't even get a chance to be able to stand on our 2 feet and find out how we want to present ourselves to the rest of the world. But you guys came and you infiltrated every space that was supposed to be for black people, black South Africans. You guys were independent since 1960. You had a chance to do whatever you want in your country and identify what you want, what are your principles in your country. We never had the chance. We came out immediately when we came out of apartheid. All of you started coming to South Africa. You never gave us the chance. So that's another reason why South Africans don't want you. And adding to it is the economics, of course. And you can't tell us to just take the land. Who's going to farm that land? We need to be skilled first. We need to learn. We can't just take things from emotions. We need to think logically, because Zimbabwe has land, Nigeria has land, but look at the state of the countries. Look at their states. Why aren't they using the land? Why are they coming to live where black people don't have land? It doesn't make sense. You guys have land, but you're not farming. Maybe if you had land and you farmed your land, South Africans are going to go there and learn, then come back and farm and take the land from the whites. But you are not doing it too. So you see, this is kind of hypocritical, because you're fighting us now for also wanting our own things, trying to fix, because we see hope in South Africa. That's why we are fighting. That's another thing. We have something to fight for. We have a hope in South Africa. We can see that the potential that South Africa has. And we're going to fight, obviously, for it. And our parents fought. They died for this thing, for us to be here today. And we also can see the potential. And you guys coming here are not making things any better, because you come here, you call us lazy. And if we look at what you guys do, you guys come, if I own a business and I see illegal immigrants, they don't have documents, they don't know their rights in South Africa, I would obviously hire them as cheap labor so I can make a profit, and not hire the native South Africans, because they know their rights and they will always demand a proper or a fair remuneration. So that's what you guys do. You guys must be fair to us. We also want to have our own identity as South Africans. We can't carry the burden of the whole continent. It's impossible. We can't even take care of our own people. We don't have adequate resources to take care of our own people. So it's not fair, guys. You know, we don't really hate Africans. We just want our own things. That's why we say, please, guys, leave us alone for a while so we can stand on our 2 feet. Then we can welcome you back. That's all we want. Not that we hate you guys. Thank you.
But you are aware, right? If you guys don't hire amongst yourselves, even if all the Africans can come today, you're still going to have the same problem. You still got to still be fighting
I have
each
a
other.
question for the gentleman. Can
Yes,
you mind,
please.
Mr. South African? Thank you for your perspective. Sounds very much like the talking points of any group, even in America. Same thing. Everybody says the immigrants do this, take the jobs, fight the people, bring the slums. Your talking points I could close my eyes and I would be hearing MAGA people saying this in the US. So I want to ask you one or two questions.
All right.
As South Africans, okay, there are immigrants in your country. There are several kinds. There are Indians, there are people from China, they're all that.
Okay.
I bet some of them are illegal as well. Why is it that the images we see and the focus is on only other African people? Can you explain why it is easier for you guys to attack Africans when there are other illegal people, I gather, but there's no effort on that? Isn't that a more subliminal depiction of self-hate? You hate what's going on in your country so bad that you project it onto the easiest and the most vulnerable. Yeah, that's just my question.
Okay, I got you. The reason why you guys see Africans, they're not being attacked. No one was killed. If I can say, pull up the evidence of anyone who was attacked and killed, I don't think you'll be able to provide me with any. We have never killed, South Africans have never killed anyone because of xenophobia. That has never happened. Maybe it has happened before in the past, but recently it has never happened. There'll be heavy consequences for that within
Did you
South
hear about the
Africa.
Nigerian driver that got killed by the South African in the taxi,
Bro,
the
South
boat
Africa is
driver?
huge. If someone died in Eastern Cape, I'm in Joburg, I wouldn't know. Even then, in
No,
the
but
next town, the people die all the time. I wouldn't know what happened there. It's a huge place. It's not a small village. There's a lot going on every day in South Africa. It's like it functions like a normal country, like any other country. So going back to the question, another reason why you guys see Africans like being the ones interrogated and stuff is because that's what you are looking for. Chinese, in fact, are always arrested and are always confronted for operating businesses illegally. Same as Pakistanis and some Somalis, and I think also Bangladeshis. You can search for it. It always happens. There was also a time where Pakistanis and Bangladeshis were feeding our children poisoned and expired goods, and it resulted in the deaths of many children. They are also confronted. It's not only Africans. The problem why the focus is more on Africa, because they are the majority of people who are causing these problems. That's another reason. Pakistan is far away. We can't expect, obviously, a lot of Pakistanis or more attention. We have Africans like from Zimbabwe. They are closer. They just have to jump the border into South Africa. So the focus, obviously, will be on them because, due to the amount of people who are coming from that country. But the focus is not only on Africans. You can find out yourself. You can do the research. Don't hear it from me only. Chinese also in South Africa are also confronted, same as Pakistanis and Bangladeshis, and also Somalis are Africans, but also them. It's not only black Africans. That's a lie.
And
It's
they're
not true.
also
I mean, I've
assaulted.
seen.
As well?
So can I ask you another question too? So let me ask you a question. I've seen a video of a South African man. He went to the Pakistani store with Chinese workers. He said, "Can you please hire us South Africans instead of hiring other immigrants for cheap labor?"
First
So
of
now my
all,
question.
how do you know it was a South
Hold on.
African?
Because he was
How do
speaking.
you know?
He was speaking. I can show you the video. He was speaking. He said, "I'm South African." He said that, "Why don't you guys hire other South Africans in the store?" So now my question is to you is, right, why you guys
Okay.
can't call the other South Africans in the diaspora to come to invest back in South Africa to hire you guys to give you guys jobs?
No, we don't need that. We don't need that. That's not the problem.
So what's the
All
problem?
right. The problem now that we have is the illegal immigration. We don't mind immigration in South Africa as long as it's legal and they also bring value. You can't come to South Africa empty-handed and expect handouts and start being entitled that, no, we also want free healthcare, we also want free education. We can't even provide for our own. So how are you expecting us to provide for you? At least bring something too. That's all we want.
All right. So the situation with the Ghanaian guy, if you guys
Okay,
signed
yeah, I heard that one. That one I know. I can speak
right.
about that.
So all right. So the guy who came on visa on arrival with, you guys had the agreement back in 2023, which Ghanaians are allowed to come to South Africa. He
Yes, I
presented his
know about that.
documents and he was legal. He was documented. If he was
Yes.
documented, he came in illegal entry. Why was he so harassed and bothered and was told him to go back to his country if he came illegal?
Okay, I didn't get the last part of your question. Can you repeat?
I said that if the concern is about illegal immigration, if he
Okay.
came there through the legal channels the right
Yeah.
way, why is he
Mhm.
being told to go back to his country if he came the legal way?
Well, according to that video, I don't know. I can't speak on what I don't know, but I can only speak on what I saw in that video. What I saw on that video was that guy, his passport somehow was not valid. That's what I heard, but I don't know. I can't say it was not valid because I don't know the real facts behind that. But I don't think I think if you listen to what that lady was saying, she was trying to say that you guys must stop coming to South Africa illegally and stop running away from your problems. She was very polite. No one was attacked. I don't know what's the outrage about that video because she was very polite. And she said, you guys must stop running away from your countries because if you run away, who are you expecting to fix or confront the government in your countries? You understand? In other words, their problems, wherever they come from, are now supposed to be our problems in South Africa because they don't want to hold their government accountable compared to us, say, in South Africa. Some other African countries are not even allowed to say something that's negative toward their own government. So that's the thing that we are saying, that, you know, if we continue like this and you guys keep running away from your government, how is Africa supposed to rise? How are we going to fix Africa? Because we are a joke. We have to be honest. If you go all over the world, Africans are a joke. So if we keep running away and not fixing, how are we going to change our situations as Africans? That's the concern. Because we are a joke. That's true. So that's what I heard from that lady. I can't speak on the document because I don't know whether
But the
it was.
thing is that here's the issue that I have, right? Because the other videos that I've seen, like I saw one video of an Ethiopian guy. He was asked for his documents. He says, "I'm South African." That one I can understand.
That, you see, that's another problem.
Oh, wait, hold on. That one I can understand because he didn't show his documents. He was probably illegal. But the problem is that even when he showed the document, her boyfriend Trevor, right? He looked at the document. He specifically said, "Who did you bribe to get this document?" Like, and then he said he was very condescending to her. Hold on. He was very condescending to the guy. Instead of him asking him what he does for work, he went and he said, "How many kids do you have over here?" Like he was being rude towards him, and the guy was very compliant.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Because I was not there. You know, I can only speak on what I saw. I can't speak for him too, unfortunately, because I was not there, and I can't give you all the facts of what was happening. I can't verify whether the documents were indeed valid or invalid. I can't speak on what I don't know. That's the thing. Okay. But if what I can say is, if the passport was valid, but another thing is, in South Africa you can't. It's likely that it was invalid because you can't come here. You can only come as a visitor. You can't. There's no visa for. Okay, since it's visa free, you can't come to South Africa and leave without you being able to present like how much you have and where you're going to work, where you're going to live, you know, stuff like that. So I don't get it. If he was visiting South Africa, how, like, why was he doing that kind of area? Because that's not like a touristic area or anything. That's where, like, it's a township when I look at that environment. So it doesn't make sense. Like, if you work, you must provide like evidence of where you're going to work and, you know, all those kind of things that must go with your document. So it's likely that it was not a valid passport.
But you can't say that because you don't know if that guy is a businessman, because you know you got a lot of businesses
I don't think so. In South Africa, you can't own a business unless you invest an amount of more than 5 million rand. If you own more than 5 million rand, trust me, you will not live in a township.
But what I'm saying,
you will not live in a township if you have more than 5 million rand, especially if you are not South African.
But you are aware. But you are aware you have American companies, you have European companies, you got other companies.
Yes, I'm aware of that. And even African companies are welcome in South Africa. Me, I'm not against that. Even African companies, if you have a proper company, you are welcome in South Africa. We are not against that. That's why I say we rather have people who bring value than people who come here empty-handed, because South Africa has problems of its own, especially with unemployment. If you come here illegally, obviously, what are you going to do? How are you going to make ends meet? You might end up doing crime and stuff and the wrong things that you're not supposed to do just to survive. So it's much better to come here legally. Regardless of whether you're African, Asian, European. And another thing why there's no much focus on Europeans don't come here empty-handed, and they don't compete for scarce resources that are supposed to cater for black people, black South Africans.
But how can you say that they don't compete if they control most of the real estate down there in South Africa?
What do you mean? Because you see this thing, I don't think you guys understand the land issue.
So who owns?
There's a lot of land in
South
Africa.
You got man seg. You got man seg. Hold on, guys, 1 second, man seg. You gotta let him answer the question.
All right, go ahead. I didn't get to finish the question, but go ahead.
Okay, I don't think you guys understand the land issue. When we are talking about land, we are not talking about residential land. We are talking about land which can be used, which is used for operating a business. Let's say maybe there's a company and it has land there. Maybe let's say in America, what can I say? What company I know from America? Or maybe let's say Ford, a car called Ford. It has land. It bought the land and it's operating its business there. That's the land they're talking about, not like residential land. I can go anywhere in South Africa and buy land. I'm not restricted. That's what they're not talking about, that kind of land. They're talking about commercial land, not land of residential that we don't own land. I don't think you guys understand the land issue.
But that's not what I meant. But I'm asking you, out of all the groups in South Africa, who controls most of the land in South Africa?
Commercial land is white people. They own, and I can tell you the reason why for them. Why it's like that. I thought it was obvious. I don't think a lot of people understand this. I don't know why they don't understand. Remember, South Africa 30 years ago, it was under apartheid. And apartheid, during apartheid, black people were not allowed to own land for commercial purposes, and they were not allowed to endeavor into certain professions. You know, they were limited in terms of what they can do in terms of careers and, you know, those kind of stuff. So it's only been 30 years. You can't expect us to suddenly own 70%. It's going to take time. And you shouldn't take land, that kind of land, and say, no, it should be with black people. Because you can't take something you didn't build. You understand? It took a long time to build maybe ShopRite, for example, one of the businesses, ShopRite. If you give it to someone who has never even ran a spider shop, a small shop, how are you expecting them to own such a big corporation as ShopRite? So it's going to take time, and black people need to be educated and learn how to, which is the government is still failing to do. It's supposed to have done it a long time ago. They still have to learn this kind of things and skills, you know, in terms of business and, you know, yeah. But we can't just take land. You never owned a shop, a big corporation. How do you expect to operate it? So that's the thing. That's the dilemma. That's why South Africans are not acting are not so harsh on that, because they know that if we take these things, we can't even run them. What's going to happen? How are we going to eat then? Doesn't make sense. So it's much better if we learn and compete.
So my other question was like, because you said that
last question.
Okay, no problem. Because you said that you're against illegal immigration, which I can agree on that, right? But you said that the reason why you don't really go after the people of European descent is because they don't commit the crime. But even though they came there legally, some of them do overstay their visas, and most of them stay in Cape Town. So that's why people would say.
With regards to that, bro, like one thing you must understand. White people, they might get away with some of these things because, as I told you before, they don't compete with black people for scarce resources. 1. 2, they don't usually come empty-handed. That means they don't live among black communities, or they don't find themselves among black people. You know, compared to African immigrants who usually come here empty-handed, and they find themselves in black communities, black schools, black hospitals, and so forth. So the attention is obviously immediate with African immigrants. And when you check the numbers, there are much lesser European immigrants compared to African immigrants. So it's very hard for us to pinpoint, that white person is illegal, because they don't live among us.
Okay.
You get it?
Can I ask another question? I have to say this.
I gotta pass the mic. We got a new.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Gustavo.
Hey, what up, Diners, man? Shout out to the panel. Great conversation today, man. I see everybody's on South Africa's neck. You know, I actually feel for the South Africans, man. I actually agree. I'm, you know, as a Ghanaian, I actually agree. I actually agree with South Africans, man. I think most of the Africans that go down there, you know, I mean, I get everybody saying, yeah, we're visa free. I actually watched the long form video of the Ghanaian guy who got interrogated. I mean, if you look at the ones that got circulated on social media were the clips. But if you actually looked at the long form video from beginning to end, it was actually a very productive conversation. Unfortunately, that guy went to South Africa with no funds, and it looks like he overstayed his visa. He exited and went to Eswatini, and then came back and got some kind of stamp, and was able to come back. And then he's working as a nail tech or the nail salon, doing people's nails or whatever. So I know with after seeing that, I kind of understand where the South Africans are coming from, because just across Africa, even in Ghana, even in Nigeria, this whole Ghana must go, Nigeria must go. The South Africans are then saying Africans must go. I get it. Everybody's going after the low hanging fruit, and like our brother from South Africa is saying, I'm sure they don't mind if you come in and you're adding value. I mean, I have friends who work in South Africa in the oil industry who do big things in South Africa. Nobody's attacking them. It's just a low level, kind of a petty trade. And we even had the same issue in Ghana. My sister will probably tell you this. I mean, people are going after the Nigerians, selling cell phones and little things. And I watched the Nigerian side. They were also going after the Ghanaians who were basket weavers and, who were kind of, they sell these woven cloths. So just little, petty trades is basically what I guess societies are trying to protect the little industries, where people can go to the market and kind of sell in between themselves. They like to buy from South Africans, like to buy from South Africans. Ghanaians try to buy from South, the lowly poor people, I guess. And it's, it's kind of tough, but I kind of get where South Africa is coming from. I unfortunately happen to agree with them that, we should probably leave them alone, because they like to benefit from their fight as far as the land that they fought for. And all that stuff that's going on. And I also heard that actually South Africa is one of the only African countries that actually has a safety net. I don't know if my brother South Africa will probably clarify this later for us, but apparently they pay some kind of social security type thing, to the citizens, because you don't really find a lot of South Africans everywhere else. There's not a lot. Everybody says we're going to deal with the South Africans in Ghana, or we're going to deal with the South Africans here and there. I mean, there's not a lot of South Africans that travel, so I'm sure there's some kind of safety net, in South Africa stuff. Because if you watch that video, even that the people that were interrogating the Ghanaian guy were asking him about his children. So I'm assuming maybe his kids could get some form of social security or some form of benefits from the government. I guess they get free healthcare, free education as well. So the kids are also going to school for free, which most of our African countries you have to pay to go to school. It's not free. So so I kind of get where they're coming from. The only thing I'll say is that they have to kind of be a little bit more diplomatic about it, because they keep saying, yeah, you should go back to your countries. But I mean, MTN is a South African company, and it's operating all over Africa. I mean, you have ABSA, ShopRite, all these grocery stores. Yeah, these are South African companies, but they still repatriate, I'm sure, a lot of taxes, a lot of money from these from West Africa, East Africa, all the way back to South Africa. And that I'm sure that goes to the bottom line for their free education, free healthcare, and social security, and all those other benefits. So I mean, like I said, most Africans that are going to other countries to not add any value, if you're just going to South Africa to be a petty trader, I mean, it's not right. The 90-day visa was for tourism. You're supposed to go there and be a tourist, go around, look around, spend some money, add to the economy, and then go back home. You shouldn't go there and then all of a sudden turn into a nail tech, or like they always say about the Nigerians, start indulging in some crimes and all that. I mean, it's not right. Nobody wants that in their country. So I feel for the South Africans, man, and I'm on their side on this one. It's unfortunate, but I know we preach Pan-Africanism, but sometimes Pan-Africanism should be knowing when to leave. Knowing when to leave your brother's house. You don't always have to go to be a visitor and then stay. Sometimes you gotta learn when to leave. So I'll pass the mic. Thank you.
All right, let me pass it to Elvis. Hey guys, so let me read these super chats. Mr. Sandman, thank you for the $4.99 holla. FBAs were sold, shipped to America because of our farming skills. When did Africans forget how to farm? JC Inc., thank you for $4.99 holla. If 0% of other Africans migrated to South Africa, South Africa will still be at the bottom of the totem pole. The ANC is the problem. They must go. So guys, we got two options. I have to go pick up my son, so I'll be gone for it'll take me about 40 minutes of return. So I could kill the stream, or you guys could continue.
Let it rock. Let it rock.
We can
Okay,
rock. We can rock.
Okay, I'll be back. Go ahead,
Who wants
Elvis.
to go next? Go ahead. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right, thank you, Dennis, and hello to the panel in the chat. Look, I think the issue with South Africa has to be solved through legislation. You guys got to lobby your government to pass laws where you know those who have the power to hire people have to hire South African first, and they'll have to pay a tax or penalty to hire immigrants. That way, the onus is on them to prioritize hiring South Africans, so you don't have to compete with the immigrant for well good paying jobs. And then secondly, pass a law where if you're not a citizen of South Africa, you can't have access to the health the safety net programs like the healthcare and some other programs that you guys have. That's going to dissuade certain immigrants from going there, knowing that they're not going to tap into your safety net programs. But instead of lobbying your government to have the laws change and maybe bring more protection for native South Africans, you're attacking the immigrants. That's the wrong way to go about it. Lobby your government. You're the majority. The one thing I don't understand is that who has the hiring power? Where's the job concentrated? The job's concentrated. Is it in the hands of white, settlers? Is it in the hands of foreign, immigrants into the country who have stores and businesses? Why are you competing with other Africans? Are you not capable of hiring your own people and sustaining yourself with your fellow South Africans? Why is it a problem that we hear people say the white farmers are hiring Zimbabweans because their labors are cheaper? The labor is cheaper. So why can't other South Africans hire their fellow South Africans at a moderate or decent or wage? So it's about choice in South Africa, right? In this country, if a guy can get somebody to work with you for $15 an hour, and you can get an immigrant from India to work with you for $10 an hour, the choice is easy. He's going to pick the immigrants that's going to cost lower or cheaper labor. That's why in this country we have people advocating for a living wage. The minimum wage should be 15 bucks. If somebody can live on 15 bucks, working 40 hours a week, that's the base pay. Nobody gets paid any lower than that. So South Africa should lobby for that also. Let the minimum wage be a certain rate that any South African would like to start with. So when the immigrant come and the native South African comes, they're going to be started at the same rate. So the immigrant is not going to undercut you. So do it through legislation. That way, those people who are hiring are bound by law to hire you at a standard rate compared to the immigrant who is going to cut your rate to an even lower rate. So I think if you do that, your problems will be solved rather than demonizing and being xenophobic to certain people. But I wanted to ask the brother from South Africa: are you a Dudula person? Are you part of that group, that movement? Unless you dropped off. Can you guys hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him that question, but perhaps he's already dropped off. But yeah, I think they should do it through legislation, that way they'll have certain protection for Native South Africans. But I think the bigger problem here, just to close out, is that the jobs are not in the hands of South Africans. They're in the hands of white people and foreigners, quote unquote, who prefer to hire people who are willing to work for a lower rate. And I think South Africans are saying everything that the quote unquote white man built, we suffered, we went through apartheid, we should be the first to benefit from it. And other immigrants are coming in and trying to benefit from the things that we suffer and fought, to be a part of. So I understand that. But then again, use your politicians, you're the majority in the country politically, to make laws that's going to protect your interests first and foremost. I think that's the solution for it. But I'll pass the mic.
Anyone want to go next?
Yeah, I wish the brother from South Africa was still here to add a little bit more color to everything you said. Because I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, I hear him talking about ANC and EFF and all this, so I'm not really privy to the inner workings of how their parliament works, and I think Ramaphosa has been president for a while, so I don't know how when his term has to end or how long it goes for or what's going on there. So um, I wish he was still here to kind of give us some insight into that.
Yeah, I think the guy dropped off. I was supposed to speak. Anyone else want to add something? Anyone's there? I guess, does anybody in the chat room have a question or in the chat box?
I guess Elvis, what do you think about all the rhetoric on social media? I mean, should everybody just kind of stay in their own their own countries? I mean, uh,
I mean, personally for me, um, I understand what he was saying because this is like almost what Ibn Traore from Burkina Faso was saying the same thing. We're saying that how like we need to build this country ourselves. Like as you see, they're building the roads over there. More Burkina Faso when the diaspora was coming over there. That's why I was trying to tell the South African dude that why don't they get the South African diaspora to come over there to invest? Because that's what Burkina Faso did, and now you see how they're doing now, and they're doing a pretty good job. The GDP grew from like what 19 million to 27 million, according to the World Bank. Mali's doing the same thing in Nigeria, and then they got the uh, was it the free travel. So if you from those three AES countries, you could travel within, and they got a lot of opportunities. So I mean, that's just my thing. They just gotta hire themselves and just more South Africans
yeah,
gotta get like they gotta just give each other jobs because if you look at
right,
all those other groups, because I've been down there before to South Africa, and
okay,
Bangladesh they're hiring amongst their own. Um, Indians will hire amongst their own. Other groups hire amongst their own. So that's my take on it.
I wonder. I wonder, does South Africa have a big diaspora? Because, I mean, if you really be honest, South Africa looks kind of like any third world country, really. When you kind of put it together like that,
Yeah, I mean, it
that's why
depends. I
most.
mean, I know like in the UK, I know it's like 300,000 South Africans, and
Right. Okay.
that one I'm not too sure about the United States. I got to look into, but they do have a South African community because I know every June they have an event here in a certain area which everyone goes to. A lot of South Africans are there, so they're here in the United States too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it might be because I've never heard of like a big group. I mean, I meet South Africans here and there. I meet one working on a cruise or something, or meet one when I go to East Coast in DC. But like, it's not like Ghanaians, Nigerians, Liberians, where like there's a big enclave here. Like,
Right.
Houston's for Nigerians. Minnesota, we got Liberians. We got Philly for Liberians. We got the Ghanaians in New York and Maryland. Like, that's not a big South African enclave. And I think it's because they don't travel. They don't. They just because they don't have to. The white people are already there. They already, took the land and industrialized the whole nation. And it's unfortunate, but so I don't think they have any reason to leave. you know. So it's maybe they need to kind of go the Chinese route, whereby for every business that you have to own, you have to have a South African partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that might be that might be a better route with everything going on, because apparently the unemployment is really bad. And
Yeah, it's like about like 40%. So it's like limited resources. Like I said, I understand where they're coming from because it's like, like, but I mean, I don't know. To me, it was so crazy because I don't know if you was there when I was speaking earlier, but I seen a video of the South African dude. He walked in the clinic and he specifically said, "Are any South Africans here? If you're not
right,
South
right,
African, get out the clinic." Like he's like, "You
right.
get out, get out, get out," instead of like kicking like mad people out. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm like, damn, that's crazy."
Yeah, that was insane. I saw that video too. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then
Which I'm surprised that they don't. I guess if it's free, I mean, I would think foreigners probably have to pay for it. I mean, I don't think you can go to. Well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough conversation.
yeah, I mean, I don't know because like I said, I go there time to time. I got friends down there. I'm not too sure exactly how it works with the clinics down there, but somebody responded to you. The South African guy said to you, he said, "Lies. We have over 15 million illegals here. We are not a third world country." You hear me? Did you hear what I said?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you now. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, the guy said South Africa's not a third world country. Yeah, that's what I mean. And that he's making my point. Yeah. So people don't leave. They don't have a big diaspora, is
Hmm.
what I was saying. That South Africa is pretty industrialized. They have no reason to leave because South Africa is kind of looks like a Western European nation. You
Right.
know. Yeah. Yep. So yeah. Whoever the chat said it. Yep, you're right. I agree with you. It's not a third world country. That's why everybody's flocking there. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So maybe
that's
you're
what
right,
it is.
Elvis. They should employ first world country problems to fix first world first world solutions, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. I mean, honestly, I think the South African diaspora should come in back there to invest. I mean,
Yeah,
China did that. They got their Chinese diaspora to come and invest.
right.
And also Kenya too is doing the same thing too. Kenyan diaspora is coming over there to invest back home in their country. So yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Hmm.
I wish maybe the guy in the chat would tell me if South Africa has a big diaspora, because I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah, I mean, out of all countries, I know the most. I think it's Mozambique. There's a lot of South Africans in Mozambique. I think it's like about 21,000. I think that's the most that I know. That I know of.
That's like as far as like the diaspora, like you mean in Southern Africa, because
Yeah,
obviously Nigeria will have a bigger diaspora than everybody else, right? But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's not that many. Yeah, like I had a crazy I had a crazy experience in South Africa. Man, I won't talk about it here publicly, but I can I can understand where South Africa is coming from, but as far as like the crime and stuff too, um, because from the guys from what I was told, pretty much like the Nigerians don't mind like spending money, and then some of the women would like to like date these guys, and then these guys would like treat them bad. Not all, but they would treat them bad, and and they get upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, but that's the rhetoric around everywhere else.
Hmm.
It's like when the FBAs go to Colombia, all the Colombian they treat everybody else better than the local guys.
Hmm.
So that's the rhetoric everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's just exoticism at that point.
Right. It's pretty funny. And then, like I
Yeah.
said, it all depends on what part. Like when I went to Cape Town, they had South Africans working over there. I mean, other people there too. Customer service was excellent. Everyone was like extremely nice to me because I was at the Hilton in Cape Town. The beach was yeah, it was pretty nice. I went to forgot that mountain that they have. They have this mountain. Um, very nice over there. I'm trying to think, and also I did an ATV down there. You gotta wear some warm clothes because it's extremely cold when I went down there. Because that
Mhm.
sand, man, oh, ain't no joke. Because you lose your phone, man. That's it.
Yeah, man. So I guess in the chat they're talking about it being drug issues or something like that.
Yeah,
But I
that's what I've been.
guess the
That's what I've
biggest
been hearing.
grievances is what they're saying.
hmm this guy from South Africa said we have free healthcare, free housing for poor, free education, social security for all unemployed and nursing mother, old people and handicapped people. Africa will not develop without patriotism.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, if they got all that stuff, that's it makes sense why everybody else wants to go there. Because, I mean, I guess that's why they were asking the guy if he has children. Because you could just go over there and get married to a South African woman, and all of a sudden you could, through her, you could benefit through this social safety net, right? I
Right.
mean, that'd be the
I
easiest
mean,
way to kind of tap into it. So I can see why there'll be people will have a problem with that.
yeah, from what I was told, they said that like some of like the Nigerians, they'll marry the South African women
Hmm.
just to get a passport to go to like to the UK or something, and then they'll do their thing, and then like
Right.
and then it look like it's a South African person, but not really a South African person, it's a Nigerian.
Interesting. Somebody is asking if you've ever been to Nigeria. I mean, what does even going to Nigeria have to do with it, though? I don't
I mean,
understand.
I have family in Nigeria, but I'm not from Nigeria, so I've never been there.
Right.
But they said that what was going on in Nigeria.
I don't know why they were asking that.
I mean, Nigeria. I mean, they're going. They got a lot of problems internally. I mean, like with the corruption and just like with the 8 groups of terrorists that they have, and then like literally like from what I read, they said there was about 30,000 terrorists in Nigeria, which is insane. That's like a mini army. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's insane.
I mean, I guess it's not. It's not. I mean, I guess everybody kind of sensationalizes it, but when you look at it to the as far as percentages wise compared to population, it's not a huge number. You know what I
hmm
mean? Yeah.
hmm
Uh, I mean, I could ask Google what the standard military of Nigeria is. I'm sure it's probably bigger than that.
hmm
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I know that Christopher Musa, like what he was doing before, he was blaming like the Sahel, and he
Mhm.
was just saying that how all the terrorists were coming from the Sahel over there. He wanted to build like a wall against Niger or whatever, but now I guess he toned it down now because he went to Turkey and he was saying that he wants Turkey to talk to Niger so they can like have a security agreement which they could like you know have a thing which they can go after the terrorists. But the thing is that Nigeria has a lot of issues and like people will like give out information and selling weapons. It's a huge mess because they recently did was they went and they unalived 200 civilians, which was terrible. And then when they were questioned about it, Nigeria said that, well, if you're with a thief, then you're a thief. I'm like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
And that was during the same week which the AES, like Mali, neutralized 100 terrorists, and also Burkina Faso neutralized 100. So it was within the same week, which was like crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I guess people are trying to get the link to join the stream, but I guess Dynas has to actually approve people to get on, right?
Yeah, he has to approve him. I mean, hopefully
Yeah.
when he gets back, he can bring him back on.
Yeah.
He's
Let's
just
figure
chilling,
that. Yeah.
waiting.
People were asked about the link, but I think even if you get the link, he has to approve you to get on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever traveled to any other countries? And the other African countries?
Oh hell yeah. I mean, I've been to East Africa, I've been to Kenya, love Kenya,
Kenya was nice.
love Nigeria. Yeah, but I was just visiting, so it's not like you go there for 2 weeks, you're not really getting a real feel for it, like like
Right.
if you actually live there. That's why I was
Right.
saying that I agree with the South Africans because I don't think anybody should just come in and set up shop, and especially if you're not doing anything that's really bringing value to the country. You're not paying
Right.
taxes. If you're going to do a low wage job like a nail tech, I mean, you're not going to be doing anything that's going to.
Right.
I'm sure that dude wasn't even paying taxes. So
Mhm.
I mean, we gotta respect your laws and what they put forth.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, you know. I mean, in the same vein, though, I mean, they got to be a little more diplomatic with how they're going about it, because, like I said, just ShopRite and all these successful South African businesses that are operating all over Africa, and I mean, they repatriate a lot of their profits and in the form of taxes back to the country, and that obviously affects the bottom line
Right.
and feeds their safety net. So, yeah, it's kind of the yin and the yang.
Mhm. All depends on where you open up a business too.
Right. Somebody's saying they're even attacking those that are paying tax. Yeah, that's rough. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
that's hard and stuff.
I mean, I haven't seen that though, so I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen them attacking. I mean, I have a good buddy that works in the oil, one of the oil industries down there in South Africa, and I mean, he has great thing. He loves the country. He's been working. He's been working there. I have seen some of the videos. They're saying that there's nothing like a work visa. Somebody was saying that, but I don't know.
Oh, they said there's no work visa.
Well, and I mean, I could be wrong because it was one of these social media, cut and paste, chopped up clips, where somebody was attacking a barber or somebody had set up shop outside somewhere, and they were telling them that they got to leave, and even their visa is not valid and all that. So it's a lot of stuff going around. Who knows what is what? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yumi 1414 said they're attacking Nigerian working in the telecommunications sector.
Right. I haven't seen that. That's what I'm saying. I haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
The one I was aware of is what happened to the boat driver, the Nigerian driver,
The boat driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they choked him out and they unalived him in the car. That's the one
Dang.
that I saw. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah. And I had my little situation too. Well, I'm not going to say it publicly. I mean, if you're so on, I'll tell you what happened. But it was a crazy experience.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Dang.
It was crazy. It was nuts. Like
Out in Joburg?
Nah, it was in Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
hmm It was in Cape Town, so I was just like, this is crazy.
Damn, so they're just going after everybody. It ain't like it's free game.
I mean, it was just like.
But you don't have to say where. We're gonna say what happened, but like, where was y'all at? Like, were you guys going out? Were you just walking down the street?
I went out and stuff. So I went
Okay.
out to like a little place. Like it was fine until that crazy situation happened. I was just like, that is nuts.
Dang.
And the guy from Togo, he kind of saved me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, it's a beautiful country. I mean, but that's why we're just saying that South African diaspora needs to come and invest over there to give South African jobs so they can sustain themselves. Because I remember I was on the phone with an insurance company and I was talking to, I guess, the woman, but I could tell her accent. I was like, I knew she was from South African. So her accent, she was South African, right? Because I know some words and some of the Zulu and Sutu words. So I was trying to guess who she was, whatever, and she was Zulu. And then she was like, "Oh, how you know?" And I told her, and then she told me how because they're on the insurance call and it's recorded. They're not allowed to speak Zulu. So she was just like, so I was, talking Zulu and stuff, and then she was just like, "Oh, that's crazy." She's just like, "It's the first time that I met someone that also speaks Zulu."
Wow,
hmm
man.
hmm Yeah,
Yeah,
someone, the guy Royal Honor saying that, tell us you might be saving a life. I mean, I don't want to go to, I really don't want to go to
right.
detail, man.
The
Like,
people want to know.
yeah, I really don't want to go to detail, man. But just know that, like, the guy who I met was just like extremely emotional, man, and he just started wilding out, and that's all I gotta say. He started just like bugging out for no reason because he thought that like I was trying to like talk to his girl, and I'm like, no, I'm in a relationship. And he just like started
hmm
panicking like and stuff. I was like,
Right.
this guy's crazy.
Wow.
But I had a
What is
good
no?
time in Joburg though.
Oh yeah.
hmm
Yeah, I heard that's the spot.
Yeah, Joburg was fun.
Yeah,
hmm
I heard that's the spot. Anyways, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
With everything going on, I think might be do not travel list for a little bit.
yeah. I mean, from what I understand, I talked to another person from South Africa who's Zulu, and she told me that this always happens before the elections. So so
Oh,
people,
okay.
so people are
Oh, so they are
thinking
going
like,
to elections. Okay, I was wondering when
yeah,
Ramaphosa's
yeah.
term was going to end.
So elections are coming soon, from what I understand, and this always happens around that time. So this is when you always see it. And she was just like, how it's just like it's what they pushing. So she told me she's not worried about it. She just focused on her own thing. That's what she told me.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
hmm That's what I'm saying. So I'm just reading like I'm reading what Goldilocks is saying. She said, here in the States are only in business for self wealth and crumbs for a paycheck that keep people poor and unable to build wealth. Yeah, I mean that's how it is. With even from the beginning of time, you always got the high elite class and then the low class. And the high class take from the poor. Let's see. And then I don't know. I saw a video of
Oh, wow.
this FBA chick. She went to South Africa. She said that when she went there and she tried to like say, "Hey, my brother, my sister, how you guys doing?" She got checked and she's like, we don't do that here. Go back to where you came from." And then, but
Damn.
that's what she said. But a lot of South Africans in the comments were saying that, how, listen, don't take that bad experience. It's not everyone. But she said that when she went to Ghana, she was embraced. So I mean, everyone's experience is different because I didn't have that happen to me. Everyone was great to me. Everyone was nice. So
Yeah.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, I guess everybody's experience is experience. I mean, just like you saying, you almost got into a situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
In fact, yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, it was just like nuts, man. And it's
I
like,
guess at the end of the day, it depends where you at. I mean,
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, every spot's got their own.
yeah. But just know that I know what South Africans what they talk about, because I experienced that, and that stuff was crazy because it's just like, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it. Like, all right, I'll talk about it. I went to South Africa. I went to a little like bar, whatever, just networking and stuff. And then this dude, this Nigerian dude, had his girl, South African girl. She was a Tosa, and then I guess he thought that I was trying to talk to her, which I wasn't, because I'm in a relationship already. You know, so he
Okay.
started bugging out and everything, and he started getting drunk, whatever. And then what happened was, the Tosa woman started fighting her cousin, and then after she
Oh,
started fighting her cousin, I guess I guess he thought that she was coming on to me. So the dude from Togo went and he pulled me inside the bar. Was like, "Don't go outside." And I asked him why, and I looked back. The dude got in the car and pulled out, the pew pew,
Dang.
He was trying to come after me. I was just like, dude, like I didn't do anything, you know. And then like, I guess the girl was like, get back in the car. The police is coming. Blah blah blah. He got back in the car. And he took off.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have ended up in one of them hospitals, bro.
Yeah,
And they would have told you to
yeah,
get up. They would have told you to
yeah.
get up and leave because you in South Africa.
It was just like it was crazy. That the guy from Togo, he saw that, and I didn't see that. So like, you know, I was just like, like, you know, that like I said, that was like the only bad thing. But other than that, like, I had a good time and stuff too. Whatever, the people were nice. It was just that one experience and stuff to that, because that Nigerian dude was like, he was bugging.
Damn. Oh, so it wasn't a South African dude, it was a Nigerian dude.
Yeah, it was a Nigerian dude. That's why I was saying that I
In South
understand what.
Africa.
In South Africa, yeah.
Damn, man. Well, see, maybe they got some validity in what they saying.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, I understand what they're
But
coming
Niger
from.
boys need to, you know,
Yeah, you know,
they're not beating these allegations, bro. They're not beating
So,
these
like,
allegations.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just that too. Like I said, it's not all Nigerians. It's just that sometimes you just
Right.
have a small
Well, obviously,
population
yeah.
that go
Yeah.
and it, like I've seen videos which they went to Saudi Arabia, they got kicked out of Saudi Arabia. They went to Thailand, whatever, it was causing issues. They went to India, causing problems. So it's just like,
wow.
like, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't get why the South Africans don't like Zimbabweans though, man. They're like the same people. That part I don't get. Like I don't.
I guess it's like, I guess it's just the limited resources. Remember you were saying about,
Yeah.
like I was saying about, it's like 40% of unemployment, and like, you know, they want them to go back to their country and fix their issues and stuff too. But you know, knowing that the Zimbabwe history, like they got placed with sanctions and like, you know, they can't like do certain things, whatever. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
Zimbabwe never used to be like that, you know. Well,
Right.
Robert Mugabe's his mistake was, just because you expel a certain group out the country and you just give people that look like you, don't mean that they have the skill set. That they gotta have the skill set first.
Right.
And that's when the whole country just started, like, you know, falling, and then they started putting out their own money, and then the inflation went up, and it just causes so many problems.
Yeah, man, that's those sanctions. They kind of ruined Zimbabwe. Yeah, I remember that. But,
So
yeah.
that's the thing, you know.
Okay, is it the Shaunas or not? Is somebody saying that the SS 77AA guy? Is it
Yeah, he's from
Shaunas?
South Africa. Yeah.
Okay, is it the Shaunas killed the Mbele people? Yeah. Okay, so that's why they're not fucking with each other, huh?
That's what they say. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Robert Mugabe's son. I guess he shot somebody, and then they arrested him, which I don't
In
understand why the
Zimbabwe or
hell would he.
in South Africa?
No, in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. You know. I mean, I met people from Zimbabwe. I mean, I don't know. They were nice to me. I mean, I didn't
No,
have no
but
issue.
my thing, but my problem is that it's like almost like Ghanaians, Liberians, Nigerians. I mean, we fight, but we fuck with each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, my wife's Liberian, so
Right.
yeah. But I mean, it's just like with South African stuff. It's like, man, they do not mess with Zimbabweans, dog.
Yeah, they don't. They dislike them and stuff too. You know.
It's almost like American Mexico, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, because
Yeah.
I understand,
It's like the
like I
same,
said, what they're
and I
coming
see the
from.
same. I see the same last names of Zimbabweans, and I see the same last names of South Africans. Like one of my boys that I went to college with, his last name was like Lovu or something like that. It was South Africans in the chat. Probably know this. And then I met a South African dude with the same last name, and I'm like, damn, but like, gotta be the same people, man.
Right.
You know, I mean, what are the odds?
Right.
That's like the South African Smith, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
but
know, and then they wear the same clothes too,
right,
traditional
right,
clothing. Yeah. They
yeah.
said that Zimbabwe used to be a part of South Africa at one time.
Well, look at that. Just all these colonial borders, man. Just yep. Like Dr. Arikana said, they drew the line, and the next day your cousin was here, you was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love what the AS is doing, man. They got it right, and so far they're doing a very good job. They cover their corners, and
Mhm.
Doing it or something,
one second. What the hell happened to my? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, it cut off for a minute.
Yeah.
You talking about? Yeah,
Yeah,
it cut
yeah.
off for a little
Sorry,
bit. Then it
somebody.
came back. Yeah. And then now you cut off again.
Yeah, my bad. Someone was calling me.
Okay, now you're back. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. That's that too.
Yeah, I guess somebody said human beings are tribal by nature. I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean,
Yeah.
you got China, who's like a powerhouse, and they always traveling,
Yep. Well, yeah, I hear to speak that the AU chair went to Burkina Faso.
Yeah,
So they
he went
I heard
there,
so.
and then pretty much what from God told the Brigida Bays all day, and from what I was understanding that they went to see what was going on, as far as like with like how they're doing with the terrorism, and then like the projects that they
Right.
have, and the guy from Burundi is very impressed. He's like, man, like these guys are on it. I mean, this is the
Okay.
first time in a while that the AES was able to fund their own unified force, which is amazing because
Right.
they went from 5,000 to 6,000. Now it's 15,000 troops, which is amazing.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, because what they did was they used what was called a 5% levy. So what happens is any imports that's outside of the AES, they put a
Mm-hmm.
0.5% levy, and then those funds will go into the investment bank. So that's how they're able to fund their projects or the troops and everything.
Yeah. Do you think they'll I mean, it's a South African conversation, but I would switch it to AES. Do you think they'll ever be able to get away from the from the um from the CFA though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Really?
They're working on that
You
next.
really think that though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How?
Because right now what they're doing is they're studying what happened with Europe as far with the
Uh-huh.
euro, and they're studying Zimbabwe. And from what I'm being told is there's going to be stages, right? I'm not too sure exactly how they're going to do exactly, but one of the things that they are going to do is they're going to do the same thing what China and Brazil did. You heard of PAPS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they're going to do a thing called PAPS, pretty much. It's going to be digital first, and I think Nigeria just did the same thing too. Which like in order for you to pay certain things, it has to be electronic, right? And then after it's electronic, whatever, once they got all those steps, they're gonna have like a window. Which, all right, whoever has the CFA, they got to come to the bank with their ID and everything. Hello, you get me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
So
Yep, I can hear
okay,
you. You're talking about
all
digital
right.
currency.
Yeah, so whoever goes to the bank with their CFA franc, they have to exchange it within a certain window. And as you know, the terrorists, they're not gonna be able to go to the bank because they don't have a way to call for the money and everything too. So once that happens, um, everyone's going to want their hands on the AE as a currency. And once that happens, that CFA franc is going to die overnight because everyone's going to say, hey, listen, this is backed by lithium, uranium, and gold and oil. Why would I want to go with the CFA franc if I could just go with the AES currency? And that's what France is scared about.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all sounds good, but my thing is right now the EFA is pegged to the euro. I mean, that's a big advantage.
Right.
I just don't see how they're just gonna be able to just pack up and just go just like that. I mean, I was all for it, but then I think about it, I'm like, man, what are they gonna do? Because if you look at the exchange rate for the CFA to the euro, it's actually pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, if whatever they come up with, it's gonna have
Yeah.
to be, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
'Cause
see.
how do
I
you step
mean,
away from that and then having all
I
your
mean,
reserves
I
in
know
France?
because the CFA franc is not really like it's like fiat paper. It's not really backed by anything. But when it comes to
Right.
the AS currency, they actually got like minerals. They got gold. They have uranium. They have stuff that's actually backed and it has actually like value. So whatever dollar, whatever that you purchase, is backed by something.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like for example, if you wanted to go and buy like gold or something, they'll say, "Hey, you can't pay us in CFA franc. You got to pay us in the currency." And if they keep doing that, like the currency is going to blow up overnight. And especially if people will just like leave the CFA franc for that one, it's gonna blow up and stuff.
Why don't they just peg it to Bitcoin and be done with it?
Because they don't own a Bitcoin. I think that's the issue, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
hmm That's what I was told. But the
Yeah.
good news is that with this and what they're doing, it's going to influence other African countries to do the same. Like for example, I know Ethiopia, they had the issue with Egypt with the dam, and I guess they was able to raise funds to pay for the project without the IMF, and they was able to finish the dam.
Wow.
I'm trying to think what else. Ghana, I think they're going to leave the IMF or something, or restructure
Yeah, they've
their.
been saying that.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been saying that. Keep going back.
Mm. They've been saying that. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, like they have to just be the model because I think that once they become the model and they see what's going on, everyone is gonna like do it. Because look what happened with Togo. Because Togo put themselves in a wonderful position because they was able to get the AES, they got the EU and France, and they told, okay, right now we're dealing with the AES, and they have a permanent port here, and pretty much the EU cannot pressure Togo because if they went and pressure Togo, they will go to the AES, and on top of that, they could probably get the logistics to China and Russia, and that's what the EU is scared of. And then now Paris is also mad because the AES has a permanent port in Togo, so they can't do nothing. So pretty much, if you look at it, Togo's like the middle person of anything, so no one can do anything because they can go in either direction. Someone said, "Are you fellas currently in South Africa?" I mean, I'm not in South Africa, but I got friends and family down there that's in South Africa. Um, I'm just reading the comments. Mm, who's this? Oh, usual business. Dynasty stepped out to go pick up his kid. He said he'll be back. You probably in the back chat, right? Usual business.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, 'cause I don't have the login. I can't like even let you in. Only he can do it. So I gotta wait for him. We gotta wait for him to come back.
Oh, we should probably let me see if I can copy the link for people. So if somebody wants to come in, they can come wait.
Yeah.
A lot of the Zulus want to get in and get their licks in. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, they ain't playing and stuff too. Definitely
it's
ain't playing and stuff too.
okay, my South African brothers. South Africa's on the do not travel list.
Yeah, that's what people are saying and stuff too. But I mean, it's gonna stop. But I just think it's what's going on right now is just the fight for resources. Which I can
Yeah.
understand because it's limited and stuff too. It's nothing that but it starts within. But that's and it's the problem like with like democracy. It's like like you can't have democracy in a country that's like with the unemployment is high and everyone is like poor and stuff. That's how you have corruption is going to start. And that's what
Right.
that's what Ibrahim Traore was saying. It was just like, how you going to have democracy if people are just like starving? Because someone from the outside can just come and say, "Hey, vote for me," like they do in Nigeria. Like they pay people to like vote for them and stuff, and they still got problems. I mean, I don't know. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on democracy?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if it was like where they get a little bit more time, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the time is short. But then again, though, like look at Rwanda, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Kagame's been democratically elected for how many years now? I mean, he keeps
Right.
going. I mean, if you get a good one, you get a good one. You're lucky. But I mean, what if it goes the other way? I mean, like Ghana, when Nana Akufo-Addo came in last time. He was good. I mean, I liked his first term, but then the
Mm-hmm.
second term, like man, it wasn't great. So it's kind of tough to say, it's good or it's bad. I look at Kwame Nkrumah, like what we were talking about the other day with Traore, when he suspended all political parties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing that Kwame Nkrumah did, and then all of a sudden the CIA and then the boys got him. So I keep thinking about that situation, and I'm like, man, I mean, on I don't think democracy itself, is good for Africa. But I think if you get a good leader, I think you should probably milk as much. But absolute power corrupts. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of like you be able to at least find a way to have some guardrails where you can get rid of them. I mean, unfortunately, like Kagame right now, he's so powerful that there's reports that he, even if you go against him, you're going to prison, stuff like that. I mean, the same thing happened with Kwame Nkrumah. So it's
Yeah.
like it, there's always a bad side to a good leader. So it's kind of tough to kind of certify that democracy doesn't work, because democracy is kind of the thing that they're just like in America. Look at Trump. I mean, well, you just have to wait 4 years and he's gone. Whatever damage
Mm-hmm.
he's going to do, a lot of damage, but at least it won't last forever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of a tough one. What do you
So,
think? You think it's what's your take on it?
well, as far as democracy.
Yeah, like, do you think it's good for Africa? Like, I feel like, in America, you already established, so it kind of works. But if you're
Right.
trying to build, you need that, a little bit of time. You need to be in there a little bit to make things happen. Every 4 years, it's not enough time to get things done. But then on the other hand, if you start messing up, it's a good way to get you out of there.
Right.
So, right.
Yeah, I agree because, like I said, you have to have a sustainable economy. Like if it's like for example, like a middle class economy and stuff too, like a career or something, then yeah, you can have democracy. You're not gonna have no issue. But if you have a country like Congo, for example, like how
Mhm.
is that gonna
Yeah.
work if it's like most of the people are like it's like unemployed and it's like everyone's like barely living.
Right. 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 So you think
Mm,
you need a leader that's going to be in there, give them some time,
yeah,
not just
but
somebody
the
just.
but the thing is like Ivy was saying that how most of these leaders they compromise or they're in scandals and they can't really do much because it's like if they do something they get exposed.
Yeah.
So it's like that's on them. But now they're in a situation because if those other like I know as far as the Francophone countries, if they see what's going on in the AS, they're gonna demand their leaders, hey, listen, why we can't sustain ourselves, but they can. And then it's going to get to a point that people's going to riot and just and what's next after that.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing with democracy, though. So you look at a country like Ivory Coast, right, which is a francophone country, right? You look
Hmm.
at Ouattara and how he came to power. Literally having the French basically bomb the presidential palace to install him, right?
Hmm.
Because he didn't agree with the fact that he lost the election, and then ever since then he's been in power. But if you look at it, I mean, has it been really that bad? I mean, people are employed. The economy is functioning. It's a functioning democracy. So do we take the good with the bad? You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean, from what I understand, like if you're a foreigner or you're wealthy, then your life is great in Ivory
So, it's,
Coast.
so it's an oligarchy, kind of like a Russia.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty
Okay.
much, if you're in the elite or like you're a foreigner, then your money stretched along, then you're fine. Life in Ivory Coast is wonderful for you. But if you just are native Ivorian, then like you're struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, family struggling and stuff too. And then now, I don't know if you know, since the AES, they don't usually use that port from Abujan.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money, and now they're trying to, like, I don't know if you saw the news that
The Togo.
Ivory
Yeah.
Coast, yeah, Ivory Coast, I guess they eliminated the fees, I guess, or the whatever visas for them to
Tariffs.
yeah, I guess the tariffs in Ivory Coast, that they want them to come back and use the port. But the problem is, like, how can they go use the port if when they got sanctioned, you use the port against them? So it's like,
Right.
fool me once, shame on you.
Shame on
Fool me
you.
twice, shame on me. So
Yep.
they're not gonna trust you,
Yep.
and it's already done. And from what I understand, that the Ivorians, the government is very pissed off and angry with the AES because they're not using their port, and they're very mad with Togo. So now they're trying to say, oh, they're trying to bring weapons and military in Togo, and I'm just like, they're a sovereign country. They could do whatever they want. Well, they're not invading other
Right.
countries. They can do what the hell they want. So whatever they get,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see what's the issue. But someone told me to ask you something since you was from Ghana. Let me get the question for you. Give me 1 second. Hold.
Shout out to Enoch from Zambia, man. Maybe get on the panel.
Yeah, okay, someone want me to ask. They said that why can't Ghana rely on their own security, and they said that why they always look towards Europeans for help. Someone told me to ask you that question. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why can't Ghana rely on its own security? Man, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask that, but I
Yeah,
mean, I guess they have agreements and partnerships with them as far as trainings, but there's no basis in Ghana. I mean, everybody used to say that there's a military base. There's no basis in Ghana. Ghana tries to almost remain neutral as much as possible.
mm,
So, why can't they look for their own security? I mean, I guess you kind of need them. I mean, the United States has the most powerful army in the world, and they make the best weapons. You
right.
know, Ukraine and Iran makes the best drones. I mean, you got to be friends with somebody and be able to buy some of their stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, on that front, I get it. But I mean, as far as security, I mean, I don't think any African country can protect itself from any of these powers. So that's
And
that's a tough one, man.
and then the my friend asked another question. He wants to know, are they afraid of their African neighbors?
Who like the
Ghana.
a oh, as far as the Burkina Faso and basically the French countries, I don't know if you're afraid. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, the ex-president was when he was riding
Right.
out Traore to the U.S. Secretary of State at the time. Well,
Right.
yeah. So, um, I mean, there's a bit of concern. I mean, there are jihadists and terrorists up there.
Mm-hmm.
At least reports of it. So, I mean, I don't know. You kind of have to. It's. I mean, we can all sit behind our keyboards and be armchair geopoliticians, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to protect yourself, I guess. So you have to be friends with somebody, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my friend asked one more question.
What do you say?
He said Kwame Nkrumah wasn't advocating for this. Where did this ideology come from?
Kwame Nkrumah wasn't advocating for this.
Yeah, as far as like going to Europe for asking for help.
Yeah, he wasn't, but at the time, I think at the time he actually had the best shot for everybody to come together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, the was it Julius Nyerere and they're called in the Monrovia group, I guess,
Right.
with Liberia and Tanzania. Forgot who else was involved, but yeah, basically they instead of being a United States of Africa, they wanted to be what it is today, which obviously hasn't worked. So,
Right.
but yeah, he didn't advocate for this, but nobody else wanted to join him when he was advocating for it, and that's what we have now. So, instead of making friends with ourselves, now we're being left with, hey, yeah, it's kind of tough, I mean, because politically, if you think about it, if Burkina Faso, Togo, and Ivory Coast decided to all join and invade Ghana, what realistically, what do you think was going to happen? Let's be real here. Y'all, you're all backed by your French overlords. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, so I don't know. It's yeah, we gotta be realistic and stop, playing these little games.
Yeah, I mean, we need to
Right.
because what Kwame Nkrumah said, he said that our strength is our unity. We got to come together.
Yeah,
Let me
back
answer this
then,
girl.
1960.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Copel and family 4469. She was asking is that what happened to the South African speakers? They were on, the guy was on here earlier. You missed him. He was on here. So if you rewind, he dropped
Man,
out.
that has been gone for a minute, man. YouTube is hard, bro. So I haven't seen
Yeah.
it, man. I could never be a YouTuber. God
Right.
damn. I have a
Right.
whole new respect for what Dynas does. Jesus Christ, you gotta keep the conversation going.
I'm telling you.
Hey,
Let me see.
you've been doing good though, Elvis. Maybe you got a YouTube channel, bro?
No, I'm not Elvis.
Oh, you're not? Oh, my bad. I've been thinking you were Elvis this whole time. That's
No, I'm not
crazy,
Elvis.
bro.
No, I'm not Elvis. No.
My bad, bro.
No, it's all good. No, I'm not Elvis.
I be thinking you were Elvis the whole time.
Nah. I'm okay. So I'm not Elvis. And so too.
Somebody's saying Ghana has no U.S. base. They have an embassy, like everything else. They have embassies, but it's not a base. Everybody thinks the embassy is a base, but it's not a base. It's an embassy.
I guess they're referring to that drone base that they have, the U.S. drone base that they have.
There's no base in Ghana that I know of. Somebody
That I
has
know
a.
of?
Yeah, maybe you can Google it. Maybe you can put in your Google machine. But I don't think they have any bases.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because they were saying something about how like the U.S. has like a drone base, which like the Ghanaian military they're allowed to go over there and like
I don't know. The
excluded.
last drone base I heard in Africa was in the one in Niger that got closed down when the junta took over. But I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think the. Let me say, the United States of Africa, what a pathetic continent.
Yeah.
In the '60s, though, in the '60s, it wouldn't have been. Now it is, but back in the '60s, I mean, yeah.
And then I don't know this. I guess it's this lady. She thinks she's from South Africa. She was like saying why we're not talking about Ghana. Why are we so focused on South Africa? I mean that was the title of the show. I mean it's literally the title of the show.
Well, to answer a question, Ghana's been taking the heat for a minute now. Ghana be on a hot seat. I think then when we had a show in Nigeria, then yeah, today's South Africa's day. So today's Africa Day, South Africa Day. Yeah.
And I had the link. You want me to show you the link about the base that they have that they were talking about?
Right. That's no base. That's no base. They have an embassy. Everybody thinks that's a base. It's no base. Everybody be talking. That's why a show like this is good because we all have our preconceived notions about here and there. Like when everybody was railing on South Africa, but when the brother came on and talked about the other side of the story, you kind of empathize with him a little bit, a lot. So yeah. This dude's saying they have a base. Well, show me the base. Where's the base?
He gave me the link. I have the link.
Oh, you did?
He gave me the link.
Did you open it? Did it?
Because if I open it, Send me the
Oh,
send
it'll
me the
take you
link
off.
again.
Okay, it'll take
Yeah,
you off the
it's gonna drop me off. I'm gonna put it in the
stream.
back
Yeah.
channel. That's what he said.
Ah.
He wanted me to show you the link. Well, but what was I gonna say? Somebody said said that Ghanaians are actually overreacting about the gentleman. His stay has expired, and in one day he got a stamp of Ghana and back to SA. That's fraud.
I mean, is it fraud? I mean, he can travel back and come back. I mean, come
Right,
on.
right. I mean, because I don't think people understand how visas work. Like
Right.
Depending, like for I give you a prime example. When I went to Kenya, right,
Uh-huh.
I had a 30-day visa, right,
Right.
in Kenya. So technically, if I can go to Kenya, I could leave and I could come back because I have the 30-day visa,
Right.
But if I stayed after that, then yeah, then that's a crime. But I had the 30-day visa. I could have stayed longer. So I don't know. To me, I never heard of a 1-day visa because if you have a 1-day visa in the country, they're gonna suspect you selling drugs or something.
Right. Right.
Or you doing some sort of crime. So I don't know what Tony's
Yeah.
talking about.
I guess they're saying that he left the same day and then came back the same day. So
Right.
let's say you have a 30-day visa, like you're saying, but your visa was expiring on, say, where April 30. It was 30 days in April. April 30th, you left April 30th, and then you came back the same day on April 30th with another, 30-day visa. Basically, that's what they're saying. Which they're saying is fraud. Which I'm saying, which I would counter and say they might be right, but it could also be that he left. Like you're supposed to leave and then come back, and that's exactly what he did. He left, and then he came back.
Right.
I mean, two things can be possible at the same time. But yeah, but everybody kind of takes everything as we don't have the full picture, unfortunately. But again, I think the brother shouldn't be there working as a nil tech. He could have done that in Ghana. He could have done that back home in Ghana. Doesn't have to be doing that in South Africa, because I mean, I don't think you could be able to get a work visa to be a nil tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not aware about exactly what type of visa he had, but I gotta give like a prime example. Like you have someone from China will come over here, or someone from Korea, and they might not go to school. Their kids might go to school, but they might have like a hair salon or a hair shop, or Vietnamese might have the nail techs, and then Chinese might have the Chinese food in our neighborhoods and so too. So I don't want to like throw a dig at that, because I can understand it might not be for them, but it might be just for the kids.
Right. No, you're right. But the only difference is the Chinese parent or the Korean or Indian parent, they'd be a permanent resident, so they'd be on the right. And they usually wouldn't be illegal. It wouldn't be a work visa thing, So so I guess that's the grievance of South Africa, which is like I said, it's and they're not the only ones who's done this. I mean, Ghana has done this, unfortunately, to Nigeria, and Nigeria retaliated back and did this to us. So, and the whole thing is just trying to protect the lower the basic sectors of the economy, which is petty trading, where people can go to the market and sell to their neighbors, So I think that's where they're worried about. So I mean, I get it from that point of view now, with other people like Yumi saying that they've been attacking people that work in telecommunications, and you said the guy that is a Bolt driver, that's kind of like, I mean, Bolt, yeah, South African can do that, so I guess, but yeah, it's
So my friend sent me a photo actually, and it says here that in 2018 that there's a U.S. base at the Kotka International Airport.
Oh, so it's not a base. It's not a base. I know what that is. We're actually talking about it on one of the Ghanaian platforms a couple months ago or something like that. It's not a base. It's they give them kind of like their own place to land. or something. But it sounds like a base, but you know, well, I guess if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. But
Right.
yeah, but it's not a base.
Okay.
So what does it say on the picture? Does it say that it's an actual base on the picture?
Yeah, he showed me the picture on Google. If we type in, hold on, let me get it.
Because if it's Kotoka International, that's the airport. So I don't know how you're gonna build a base on an airport. You know what I mean? Where
If you
and
type,
nobody will know about it.
if you type in, it says the U.S. military base in Ghana. It should come up
Uh-huh.
on Google.
Mm.
That's what it says.
Okay. I might have to
Yeah, this
go
lady,
get on my
Kopel.
computer and look at this, but
Okay. Kopel
I'm
and
still.
family, huh?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just reading this comment. Kopel and family 4469. She said to SA77A, it's not a cry. It's about exposing them and separating from people who disrespect us while cosplaying us and taking our benefits, same as what you are experiencing, exactly the same thing. So she's saying that how, I mean, she said that she's FBA, so she's saying that how other people are cosplaying as them, trying to take their benefits. Oh, someone responded to you. They said, Christopher, his name is Doug. Okay, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah,
He's
people talking
referring to
crazy.
you.
People
Yeah,
talking mad crazy in the chat.
yeah, he's talking crazy about you. So I'm not even going to even, I don't know why he's talking crazy. He didn't even do anything.
Damn, Donna's been gone for a long time, man.
No, I think it might be the traffic.
Oh yeah. This is Atlanta.
Yeah, so it might be the traffic and stuff too. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm just over here. Tony, like you I understand what you're saying about the visa, okay? But what I'm trying to say is like I gave the prime example of a Chinese person coming to America and like have a Chinese shop, a Korean person from Korea has a hair salon, and then a Vietnamese person comes and has a nail shop. Like if they wanted to have a shop of their own, I don't see what's preventing them from having their own. I mean, so Tony, can you tell me? I just want to ask you a question to Tony. Tony, can you explain to me what's preventing South Africans of owning their own nail shop? Can you like to elaborate for me? Yeah, I'm waiting for him to respond because I just want to know what he's gonna say about that.
He's
Yeah,
typing right
usual
now.
business here. Yeah, he's typing. Yeah, let me see. Usual business. He's late. He said he was supposed to be back a while back. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Tony, yeah, answer that.
I told this guy. Damn, I gotta break out.
Your sound went out again. Are you did you get a call?
I'm gonna call him back.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you back.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, somebody was calling. Okay, someone's always calling me. Tony, I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that you don't have stuff going on, but my question is to you, Tony, specifically. Why can't you open up your own nail shop? What is preventing you from opening up your nail shop? Answer the question. Can you tell me what's preventing you from opening up your nail shop? Just answer that. Just answer that question. Because I don't think no one is preventing you from opening up your nail shop. Because I know plenty of other South African from the diaspora that have businesses or they have homes down there in South Africa. So that's my question. So let me ask you a question. Do you because the guy that came up on earlier, he said that pretty much most of the crime are committed from illegal immigrants, and I just wanted, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, we don't have any data to back up. I mean, it's all anecdotal. So it could be true, could be not. We don't. You know,
Right.
that's the thing. Because I mean, you always hear reports from South Africa that it's a lot of crime. You know, they're gonna steal your car. People are getting arrested. People are getting robbed at gunpoint, shit like that. You know, and I mean, they're saying it's the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, it's whoever is doing it, the Zimbabweans, whatever. I mean, you know, I guess it's so much now that there's some truth to it. You know, but
Right.
but are we saying that the native South Africans themselves are not also part of it? That's the only part that I probably challenge.
Right.
You know. Yeah,
Uh,
because
Let me respond to this person, Lindo. Lindo, that was not the question. The question was, I said that I didn't say that Tony has to open up his own nail shop. I said why they can't open up their own nail shop if they're concerned about the so-called competition. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, you got, for example, the Koreans that own mostly of the beauty supply stores in America. And you got some FBAs that, I mean, at least they have beauty supply stores. Why they aren't nail shops by South Africans for South Africans? That was the question. Tony's saying that. See my point exactly. They're not allowed. That's the law. So there's a law that South Africans are not. I mean, other groups are not allowed to have nail shops.
I think that's the issue where they're saying maybe the work visa comes in. You know, like in your
Mm-hmm.
example where you said the Korean mom or the Chinese mom comes to America and opens their shop, doesn't stop an FBA from doing that. Well, in the case that the Korean or the Vietnamese lady, they got a green card or they got a permanent residence. They're legal. They're
Mm-hmm.
allowed to do that, to have a business. You know, in fact, if you look at U.S. policy now, Trump's actually trying to shut down immigrants from getting a SBA loan, like small business loans, because of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of like the same. You know, kind of a little bit of top down rhetoric coming down.
Right.
So, but yeah, they're saying that these guys that have the nail shop in this case does not have the paperwork or the legality, or them themselves are not legal in the country to be able to do that. Which, you know, I would say, yeah, because I'm sure they don't have no work visas for other Africans. I mean, when just because people say it's visa free doesn't mean it's you should come live there. You know, that's my
Right.
only point. I know people are saying I'm a coon, I'm a sellout in the comments or whatever, but I'm just saying that, hey, if somebody gives you a 90-day visa, it's a tourist visa. They're not telling you to come live. I mean, if you want to go stay there, why don't you figure out a different path,
Right.
to go there,
Right.
So it's uh you know.
Understand. And then you have. I want to respond to SS77A. Listen, I understand about the immigration issue. I just don't believe that every immigrant is selling drugs because he's saying that it's not about the salons, it's about the drug trade, and we can't go back to the apartheid days by our own black people. Imagine a foreigner redistributing cocaine in the communities like this. I don't believe every immigrant is selling drugs, man. Like I said, I understand it might be others, but I don't believe. I just don't believe that, man.
Yeah, that's hard. I'm with you on that. That's hard to believe. Now that I think about it, I mean, where will the immigrants that are, people are saying that these immigrants are coming down poor, they're not offering anything to the country. Where are they getting all this money to get these, to buy these kilos to peddle, or
Yeah,
what kind of connections are they?
right, because somebody has to go out there and sell it.
Right. Where are
So
they
I
getting it
mean,
from?
yeah, so somebody's either like I don't know. It's just like so.
I mean, it's
So
not like there's a big drug syndicate in Nigeria where they're supplying. It's not like,
right,
hey, this is Mexico and there's a cartel, and this is where
right,
this is where we get. This is the mother hive where we get all the supply from, and then we come here and then we distribute it. Come on.
Right.
So where are these? I mean, I think they got to look at the local whites, as they say. They have to, because just like in America where they put the drugs in the black community. I mean, these drugs have to come from somewhere. I don't know if yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if these drugs are coming from the immigrants. It might be I think most of this is getting the low hanging fruit, which is your fellow black African brother. But I think if they really look into it, I don't think these drugs are coming from. Because I mean, a guy that just came from Nigeria, where is he going to get kilos to come sell to you guys? I mean, come on.
Pretty much. That's why I'm like, because they gotta other people from that town got to participate in it, and they got to sell it. So it's not just him, because it's like, I mean, if that's the case, if a Nigerian person comes to South Africa and he's selling, that person should get exposed by the whole community. But apparently, that's not happening. People are partaking in it because they want the money.
So Yumi has an interesting point. He's saying that most of them aren't illegal because you can set up a store without a permit. So he's saying that it's basically like a flea market, huh? So you could basically anybody can just set up I don't know, man. I mean, Yumi's from Nigeria. He knows that. So this happened in Nigeria where the they stopped the Ghanaian migrant basket weavers. These are kind of I don't know if you're familiar with basket weaving, but basically they said it was something that's protected for only the locals. So I mean, every local government has a right to protect the society, or nationalize every part of its industry. So I don't understand what you're saying there. Yeah,
right.
So you can get a permit to do that if you have the requirement. No, I'm not being a pain in the ass. I mean, we're just having dialogue, and I'm just asking you to clarify. Days, Yumi, relax, man. Jeez, some of these guys take
Yeah,
this so.
yeah. SS77A said you guys are just pretending not to know, probably because you're protective of them as your cousins. I'm not defending nobody. We're just asking a valid question. Asking a
No,
valid question.
he's right. SS70, you're right. Yeah, I'm protective of them as my cousin. I'm protective of you too. So I want you to stop fighting with them. You're both my
Yeah,
cousins, man. That's what
yeah,
happens when my cousins fight. Like, yo,
yeah,
you need
my
to chill
guy.
out and you need to leave. You've been here too long. Okay, it's
Right,
time to go. That's all I'm saying.
right. I mean,
And
and
Yumi's
then
saying no, he can stay there and he can shut up shop because it's a flea market. So
right,
I don't know.
man.
And then I'm
Tony,
being a
man.
pain in the ass.
Tony, if you're complaining about the illegal immigration, then it's not. Then you should take it with the government, man. The government got to take care of that, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could go there, become an immigration officer, and just, go about it and start deporting those illegal migrants that come into South Africa. I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion, because I don't know
You
what
know,
I'm seeing is like most of them are not immigration officers. They're just going around asking people for papers and just like telling them to get out. Not saying that they're not valid, but that's what I'm seeing.
you know what I'm saying. I just thought about is South Africa's got their own version of ICE right now. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just walking around the street. Hey, where you from? Hey, let me see your
Mhm,
papers. Okay, what are
mhm,
you doing here? Right?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
They got their own version of mob ICE right now.
mhm.
Just
I'm
going after,
telling you.
yeah, but I guess when somebody asked that, why aren't they going after the Indians, the Chinese, and I mean that's a valid question, man. But yeah, it's a low hanging fruit. But well, I agree with them. I mean, why don't you
I
make
mean,
it
I've
blanket?
like I've seen it, but it's mostly from like the immigration officers that go and they'll have like, for example, like they'll have an operation which they'll go to the store and they'll say, "Hey, who do you have working here? Who's legal? Who's illegal?" And then they'll be like, "All right, if you can't answer the question, we're gonna arrest you for harboring illegals." I mean, that's what I've seen as far with the Chinese. You know, I haven't really seen like South Africans like going to the store and say, "Hey, let's see the papers of every like person that works in the store." I haven't seen that, but that's what I've seen.
Oh, you haven't seen? Oh, I could send you a link. I just saw one today. You know, but the thing that's crazy is once you look at one, everything else. I'm sure you see it eventually because Facebook keeps, you know, the algorithm just keeps feeding you, you know, all that. But yeah, I just saw one today. They went to the same dude that was interrogating the Ghanaian guy went to a store and they cleared out shop. And then the other girl, Victoria Africa, she went to a container store and basically cleared the dude out. Like they picked up all his. Now, to her credit though, that dude was maybe North African. So
Mm,
you know,
okay,
at least it's
I'll
free
give
game on
credit.
every. It's open season on everybody. You know,
I'll give credit.
so. Yeah, man, we got some more South Africans that want to come up. Hey, Dynas, man, I'm surprised you're not listening to your own stream, but you know, if you
Probably
are,
listening. He's
man,
probably in the
just
car. He's
log
probably in the
on real
car
quick
listening.
and tap some people in. They want to
Hmm.
contribute. Yeah,
I want to respond to Copeland and Family 4469. She said South Africans are going after white, Asian, and Indian illegals. They don't show these videos because it goes against their agenda. I go to strongly disagree because you're saying that go against their agenda. Because if what you're saying is true, then how do we see these videos? They go into a Pakistani or Bangladesh store, asking them to hire South Africans, or they go into a Chinese store. I mean, I haven't seen them go to any white store. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that, but I've seen them to go to every other store. But but like the guy was saying earlier, he said that the reason why they don't go after that specific group is because they're not taking the jobs or the local jobs, um, supposedly. So I haven't seen that. Indians, yes. Asians, yes. For white, nah. I don't think that's gonna happen. Not saying that it can't, but I don't think that's gonna happen, man. What you think?
also you got to think if what these guys are saying that somebody was begging. Were you the one saying? I think somebody was saying that somebody was begging one of these guys for a job.
Oh yeah, I saw the video on Facebook. Like the South
Right,
because even the South African guy on the panel was just like, "How do you know he was South African?" The dude is clearly South African because he literally
right,
went there. He said, "Why are you not giving South African jobs? You need to stop
right.
hiring other migrants. You need to give us jobs."
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. To me,
mhm.
that looks crazy because it's like
Right.
if you know about group economics, no
Hire amongst themselves. They're not gonna like hire other people unless you got laws in place or something. But I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, and I'm saying so you're right in that sense from what you said that we're not seeing them attack other groups because maybe these other groups are their bosses. You know, like the guy that was asking for a job, maybe the Bangladeshis and the Indians and the Lebanese or whoever else, Chinese. So these are their bosses. They can't attack their bosses. Where are they going to go to work tomorrow?
following me.
So maybe that's
What
why we're
happened?
not seeing more of that. You know,
Yeah,
those
it's
are actually
just
the employers.
I don't know. It's just like
Or maybe like some Africans saying it's a jealousy. Maybe the guy wants to open his own nail salon. So he calls
right.
the South African ICE on police on these guys. You know. So, but the problem is, it seems like it doesn't matter if you're legal or illegal. You know, because I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, the one that went viral was like with this Ghanaian guy, and I don't think that guy was legal, but it seems like it really doesn't matter if you're legal or not.
Right.
Really, yeah, because even if you showed your paperwork and you were legal, they'll still tell you, well, you need to go to your home. Why are you here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the lady in the video clearly said, she said, I don't want you here. Go back to where you came from, you know?
Yeah. So I guess it's not really about the legality. Man, you guys are kind of changing my mind on this, man. I was more for man. I was on that SA side, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I mean, like I said, when I went there, I came, like I said, I didn't have no problem and stuff. But remember, I told you before about the other American lady that went there, and she said that they were giving her problems and stuff too. And she came there illegal. They're like, nah, get up out of here.
Yeah, man. Tony's saying that they're going after everyone. So yeah, I guess
Uh, back to Copel and Family 4469. It is not a sin to protect your community. No one didn't say that you can't protect the community. What I'm saying is that there's no video evidence of them going after white folks. Not saying that they don't. Let's be clear. I'm not saying that they don't. But what I'm saying is I don't see no videos. That's what we're saying. There's no videos. Like I said, I've seen Indians, I've seen Pakistanis, I've seen Zulus whip a Pakistani person because he sold old meat and stuff, which was on Twitter, which was crazy because they whooped this dude, like literally like took like they whooped this dude like bad because he was selling like rotten meat and stuff too. So like, I've seen that, but
Is that a dude that got punched in the face?
no. It's
Oh,
another
not
dude.
him.
It was
Okay.
like because the video I seen a couple months back was some Zulus went to a Pakistani dude, I guess, and he was selling rotten meat, and they told the guy to eat the meat, and he wouldn't eat the meat. So they whooped they whooped him, man. I was just like, whoo. They whooped him, man. It was funny. I mean, I can laugh about it because and it was like those skinny sticks.
Yeah.
The thin ones,
Those
yeah, he got
kebabs,
whipped by
the
those.
kebab
Yeah,
sticks.
he
Yeah.
got whipped by those. It was, oh my God, it was like I was like, man, I know that hurt.
Hey, Principe, man. Principe saying they need to send me the essay to be with my extremist group, man. Bro, I tell you, if they send me over there, they kicking me out, bro. Don't tell me I'm not I'm not legal enough to join them.
Yeah, Tony, I didn't say Tony. I said I don't know. You listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that they do confront him, but you heard the guy. If you was on here earlier, the guy specifically said that the reason why they don't go after white people because they're not taking the local jobs from South Africans. That's why they don't go after them. You know.
Which is crazy to
So
say.
yeah. I mean, yeah. To me, it's just crazy because the whole argument is because you're coming into the country illegally. I mean, or like, because I was just telling them, I said, you got some Europeans that come, they'll overstay their visa and they'll still stay, but because he's not taking the jobs from the South Africans, he's not a threat. But the people who's taking the jobs are the threat. If they both simultaneously are threats, which to me it just sounded pretty crazy to me that he said that. I mean, that's just my opinion. Hold on. Yeah, couple, the family. Why are the Mexicana arriving in South Africa? No one is jealous. Y'all are acting as if they are supposed to allow these things to happen. Y'all can't be FBA. We understand that. What F?
Man, what the hell is Dynast, man? This YouTube shit is hard.
I'm
Playing
just,
YouTube
yeah,
on
I'm
a
just,
hard note.
yeah, I'm just reading this, Oh my God, yeah, Well, I don't understand. Hold up. Copal and family 4469. Are you South African or are you FBA? Because she said my South African family has them, and since their platforms aren't big, it's not going viral. The hate towards South Africans are big. We know who controls the media. Why are we acting like the white people? I mean, I've been knew that like they have, because I'm not too sure if you watch African Diaspora with Philip Scott. Have you ever heard of Philip Scott?
Yeah, Phil Scott. Yeah, I love Phil
Yeah,
Scott,
because
man.
he even said that in South Africa they don't control the media. The Afrikaners are the one that control the media, and even if you go and just say you try to pump up like presenting like a black South African black narrative, they're not gonna allow you that, and they're not gonna give you the license. So you're better off just like going on like on YouTube and doing it. But they control that.
Yeah,
And
it's funny though.
and that
It's funny you say that. All the white people that are in power in South Africa. It's a little weird because even this thing that happened, this little scuffle that happened. We can say it's more than a scuffle for our friends that believe it's more than that. But yeah, the chief of police came and responded. They're gonna deal with him. And then I look up at the pictures, a picture of a white dude. I'm like, what? The chief of police in South Africa is a white dude?
yeah,
Yo.
Afrikaners and stuff,
Man, I need the South Africans to come up here and tell me about this, man. Then I heard some of the politicians, I guess, some of the politicians, their parents, some of the white politicians they have, some of it I guess there's somebody from Italy and somebody from Netherlands, and I forget where the other two were from, but there was just 4 white politicians. And basically one of them's parents was an immigrant, could be illegal, because they ain't gonna ask the white person where's his papers at, and how
Right,
long
right,
he's
right.
been here, what are you doing over there, why ain't he so I mean, once you see that, you kind of get where the FBAs are coming from too. Even because once I saw that, I'm like, man, I kind of see where the FBAs are coming from too. Because
Right.
basically, like Africans that come to America, and then your kids, become a politician, and all of a sudden they're going against, their policies or their stuff that'll benefit the community. It's the same
Right.
thing that's happening here. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're always gonna have a cheap labor force, man. Like, I
Right.
mean, look here in America, like who picks the fruits and stuff? It's mostly Mexicans and stuff. They get
Right.
people
It's
from
always been
Mexico to
that way.
come and
Well,
yeah, this is
before
what I'm
that it
saying.
was African Americans, the
Right,
FBAs.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
There's always a cheap labor force. When I went to Costa Rica, right, the Costa Ricans was telling me that most of the people who do the labor jobs are from Nicaragua and stuff too. Same thing with Dominican Republic. The people that work the low paying jobs are Haitians. So
Yeah.
it's like everywhere you go, you're always gonna have a labor force, a cheap labor force. Even in Europe, they have gypsies. Gypsies are the ones that work the low paying jobs and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just like you're always gonna have the cheap labor force. There's nothing you can do. Because I'm telling you, because it's like if you go and you deport all those people for the cheap labor force, man, that economy is gonna freaking collapse.
I
The economy's
mean,
gonna crash on itself.
is it though? I mean, they said that, but people are still gonna do the job. You don't think? You don't think
Right.
people are gonna do the job? Man, I don't know. This is something that I kind of wrestle with all the time.
Okay. Copo and Family 4469. She said she's FBA, but she said she's connected, and
Connected
she
with
says
the SA people.
she's connected with them, and she understands because they're marrying each other. But what's so crazy is, like, for example, right? You got 2 groups. You got FBAs who are a minority here in America, and then you have SAs who are the majority. But what they both have in common is like the white folks are the majority in America, but the white folks in South Africa are minority. But for some reason, they both have economic power, which is like
Exactly, and the common denominator is.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but like I said, I respect FBAs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. I'm just saying, like, I just think it's an interesting contrast.
Right. But I'm saying the common denominator is the white folks. So I mean,
Yeah,
they have a point there.
yeah. This is what I'm saying because they
Yeah.
control they control the flow of information.
Right.
They control the flow of
Yeah.
information. Yeah, I'm just reading these comments.
Yeah. Man, they ask me some crazy questions, man. Ooh, this
Yeah,
one's spicy.
said,
I have you take
oh,
that one.
which one? From who?
Dude, Principe.
Oh,
Prince.
he said the new president of Benin went to a HBCU, and I believe so has Tinubu. Why hasn't it resulted to policies and partnerships? I mean, as far as that, I mean that guy who got elected in Benin, and I'm not mistaken, he got handpicked by Patrice Talon, and we all know Patrice Talon is a puppet for France, so he's doing France's bidding. So it don't matter what school you go to. If the masters tell you what to do, you're gonna do whatever they say. So it's not gonna change. It's just a different face, continue the same problem. And as far as Tinubu, I don't know what school he went to. So I don't know.
I heard Tinubu went to a school in Chicago. I think that's what there was something weird about that. Oh, he said he went to school in Chicago, and they were saying he didn't. It was kind of. But speaking of HBCUs, though, Kwame Nkrumah went to an HBCU, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's true. That's a fact.
yeah, HBCUs. He did a lot with his education there, even more than that. So you're not always gonna get it right, but sometimes you're gonna get it. So
Right. No, that's a fact. He went there, and then he got influenced by the Marcus Garvey movement and stuff. So that's a fact. Yeah, they said that Tinubu never went to school.
So yeah, okay. So he did. So he said he went to school in Chicago. Then they found out that he did. He lied about it.
Mm.
I think that's what happened. I'm not sure. Maybe the Niger boys in the chat can let me know
Right.
if I'm on the right track.
And the guy, what's his name? I can't. What's his name? Principe.
Principe. Prince.
Pro
We call him
Principe.
Prince.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Prince. I, like I said, for me personally, I know it's not all South Africans and stuff too, because the South Africans I met, they were good to me. I had no issue, had no problems. We got along great and stuff. But like I said, if you have a situation which you have limited resources, man, people gonna start fighting each other. Because like that's what I was saying. Even if all the black immigrants went and they left, they'll still be fighting each other over resources. So I don't even think that's like. I mean, I know it's one of the issues with the illegal migrants and stuff, but even if, like I said, that they left, they will still be fighting over resources. You know,
I mean, India.
that's just human nature.
Yeah, human. Yeah, like when I was about to echo your point, India has 100%, 99% or maybe 98% of their population being Indian, right? And they're still, and they have the classic caste system, classic tribalism.
Right.
So, so yeah, you're right. Even if everybody left, they'll be fighting amongst each other like the Indians and like everybody else does. So,
right. They'll still have problems, and that's what people are not understanding. Like, sometimes, like I said, I understand resources are scarce, but you got to open opportunities for yourself. If not, no other group is going to look out for you. I'm telling you, no other group is going to have your best interest besides yourself. No other group at all. If you don't build for self, and that's it, it's a wrap. No other group. I don't care where they're from. I'm not going to have your interest, man. They said that for Tinubu, they said they searched for his primary school records at some schools he said he attended in Nigeria, and they didn't find anything. Let me see. Yeah, these comments, I don't even know how Dinus does. It says what's his name? Afrometry said SA people fought whites for liberation, and now they are having to compete with fellow Africans, hence the xenophobia. Yeah, scarce resources. Everyone's fighting for resources. That's what happens when you fight for resources, man. When you fight for resources, they don't care what color you are, man. I'm telling you. I mean, imagine in the U.S., right?
All right, guys, I'm back.
Hey, Donis, what's up, man? Welcome back.
Hey,
man.
welcome back, man. Hey, man, this YouTube shit is hard, bro. Man, I have a whole lot of respect for you now. Man, I couldn't believe this.
Oh, what happened?
Nah, some people trying to get on. They couldn't get on.
People trying to get on. It's just people asking questions. Man.
Okay, we got a new caller. We got usual business. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Usual business. Usual business. Unmute yourself. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay.
Man.
We're all the South Africans that wanted to call in, man. There's a lot of essays that wanted to come in and get their licks in. Come on, man.
Well, guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, I'm back now. So, links in the chat room.
Was there like crazy traffic on Dinus?
No, I had to make another stop unexpectedly to get my son. My son.
Somebody in the chat said he was at Home Depot listening to music.
Oh shit! All right, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, just click on the link. Links in the chat room. We'll be on for like another 30 minutes, and I have to take my son. Well, 40 minutes. 30 minutes. I got to take my son.
Yeah, no doubt, and stuff too. Unusual business, man. You was on, man. You didn't answer, man. So if you back on, man, comment in the back. Yeah, so we were just reading like the comments and stuff too. Like people was going back and forth. They were saying that they were talking about Tinubu. They were saying that how he never attended school, and they said that the records that they found was like false. I mean, I don't know nothing about that, so they could probably answer that and stuff.
All right, let me pack. Go ahead, Lee. Unmute yourself, Lee.
Yeah, I was also out. I was here before.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought there'll be more people who are here. I can't see them. Oh, they.
Okay. You got something you want to add, Lee?
Oh yeah, like I was trying to respond to I think it's I can't see the name. Yeah, but he was talking about that we don't attack like white people. I thought I explained that before. Why that's the case?
No, you did. I was just responding to the person from the comment. You did. That's why I told him you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
then
but
let
get some more clarity on that though. Get some more clarity on that. I want to hear that.
I guess if you want to say it again, you can let them know what you said earlier.
Okay, what I said earlier is that white people usually they find it easy to get away, even though like I don't believe that a lot of white. Oh, and I wanted to comment something about that Pakistani video of South Africans begging an Pakistani guy for jobs. I think I saw that video, but I didn't watch the full clip because I think I watched it. I think I remember when I recall. I think I remember that video, and I don't think that guy was actually Pakistani. That guy was an Indian from Durban, a South African Indian, because South Africa is diverse. We have white people, blacks, coloreds. Okay, because I heard that the word colored in America is pretty controversial. So colored is a mixture of
Light
many
skin.
ethnicities.
It's light skin.
No,
That's what we call it. It's light skin.
no, it's not light skin. No, it's not because that
Oh, it's not?
darker colors. No, that darker colors than me. I'm actually dark skinned. They're actually darker colors than me. So it's mixed race, but like you're mixed with like different ethnicities. You're mixed with native South African white. Sometimes you find Indian. Sometimes there's an island called Madagascar. Indonesians, Malaysians. It's a mix. But they form their own cultural group. But that cultural group was not formed by the colors. It was formed like by the apartheid government back in the days, because the apartheid government. Apartheid means the separation, like the apart. You see, apartheid. It's like setting people apart. So they set the colors apart, the Indians apart, the native Africans apart. So because it was mostly due to like skin color or like your type of hair, those kind of things. They'll put a pen through your hair, and if it doesn't fall, that means you'd be set maybe into a, if the pen sticks to your hair, you'll be regarded as black, though you're not fully black. So it was that kind of thing. That's how they were formed. So there are also Indians too who came here as indentured slaves. They came to work in the sugar canes in Durban. So they also, even Mahatma Gandhi, if do you know Mahatma Gandhi? If I'm Gandhi, the Indian, I think he was pretty famous. Any of you guys aware about Gandhi?
Yeah. But get to the point. Get to the point as far as what you're
So yeah,
saying.
my point is like South Africa is pretty diverse, and of course you might confuse it. Like when you see an Indian, and you might think, oh, it's a Pakistani. No, they're actually South Africans. They are South African Indians too.
Wow.
Yes, there's a large number of. Yes, it's true. It's true.
Gandhi, he took his barrister exam, his bar exam.
Am I really
So what?
hearing this?
Yeah, it's
He
true.
took
There
he
are
took his
South Africans,
lawyer
because
exam.
if you guys laugh like this, that means you guys, African Americans, are not supposed to have any positions of power because they're not native to America. So are whites. Native Americans are the ones who are only supposed to be running America. If you go with that logic and laughing and saying no, they are not South Africans because Africa belongs to black people only. In South Africa, unfortunately, that's not the case. It's a diverse place. You get it? And we can't say now today people who have been here for almost 300 years and say, no, you guys go away. You're not here. You don't belong here. You get it? So that's the dynamic in South Africa. We can't just send them away and say, no, you don't belong here. You belong in India. While at the same time, ancestors, like for more than like 300 years, they've lived here. They don't know nothing about India.
Mm.
You get it?
Okay.
So it's that kind of
Okay.
thing. So that guy was not
Mm.
Pakistani. I believe he was like an Indian South African from Durban.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who they were
All right.
asking,
Okay.
why is he hiring illegal immigrants while he's a South African?
Okay. All right. We hear you. We hear you. But me, I'm a West African. Okay.
Okay.
My only problem is my brother, my South African brother. I understand that some people are coming in the country, you know, that are causing crimes and trouble in the country. I understand that. First of all, greeting to everyone. That needs to be dealt with by the authorities of South Africa. That's their job. If someone is coming in your country illegally, you know, and doing illegal stuff, you should blame your authorities. That's their job. That's what the taxpayers' money is for, is to deal with those issues head on. You know, like in America, if you enter America, you're not legal, they'll deal with you. If you enter America, you're not following the laws, you're committing crimes, they'll put you in prison and send you back to your country. Okay? I live in the UK. Okay? No matter how many passports, British passport I have. Okay? No matter how long I've been in the UK, I could be here for 400 years as a black man. I could never be English, my brother. They will never see me as an English. For the fact that you, as a South African brother, you will chase away people from Zimbabwe who've been in that region, in that continent for thousands of years, and say they're foreigners, but then an Indian person who came there, me and you well know these are one of the worst people you can find towards black people when it comes to racism and discrimination. You know you cannot go to India and claim the same stuff and claim those people actually belong to the nation or to the people of Africa. It's quite shocking and embarrassing. And you know for a fact, you said earlier, I heard you said, the figure of over 2 million illegal Europeans who live in South Africa. Let me tell you one thing. Most of these people are not going there with money. They run away. These are broke motherfuckers. I'm sorry about that. They have no money. Some of them live in the UK. They have no money. They go there. They get loans for the bank. The loans that you could have get to open a business. They will take that loan and give it to the Europeans to set up a business, and they'll set up a company. They won't even employ you. And you hear put it clapping for them. What I'm trying to say is, like, if you cannot deal with the situation in South Africa, let the other black people who can deal with it go there and deal with this situation, because you're putting the entire continent at risk. We already have problem in the north where you see these people in Algeria have been funding terrorists and other countries, encroaching on our territory. You see what Mali is doing by dealing with them, taking the territory back. Then we have people in the South African region who are actually enabling enemies to invade, our territory and claim legality in our ancestral land. This is wrong on all levels. South Africans, right? South Africans been helped by all nations in Africa during the apartheid, including the UK, the country where I live. In fact, the United Kingdom are one of the people that still got a lot of sympathy for you, because they don't like how the white South Africans are still treating you in your land. If they can change it, a lot of them will go back and change it again, because they're the one that stood ground and help you, yeah, and do this, right? So basically, what all I'm trying to say is to you, my brother, stop chasing your own African brother. Stop fighting over the crumbs. Go for the real pie, bro. Go for the real stuff. Go after those people. Listen to me. I know you don't want what happened in Zimbabwe to happen in South Africa, where when the white people leave, they will leave unemployed and stuff like that. But I'd rather be living in a old house than basically living in my own house, feel like a stranger when another man take control of the house and asking me to sleep in the kitchen, and also offering me crumbs, with my brothers to fight over and just laugh at us, and he's still chucking crumbs at us. This is what they're doing. We know Elon Musk is behind all this stuff that's going on in South Africa. Okay, he is obviously what they get the campaign. He spent billions helping Trump to get into office to fight his cause in South Africa. Okay, and he's using all the funds that he gained to come and oppress black people. We know the white Africans, their companies that they have in the continent, that money that they gain is being used to oppress black people globally. They're funding a lot of the right wing medias in the UK. That's including in Sierra Leone, the company that we removed from that country that was mining our diamond. Only they refuse to pay and refuse to stick to the agreement. They think they can treat us like how they treated South Africans. Our first lady stood up to them. I said, "Listen, you treat us fairly, or you know where to go." Okay, and this company, only to find out they actually are one of the owners of the most right-wing media platform in the UK here. What are you playing at, brother? If you cannot fight these people physically, use use the paper, use the legislative. The laws are there. Your president was trying to do that by getting some of the lands back. You see what Elon Musk did? Elon Musk is fighting it because he cannot have Starlink operate by following your laws. You brought a law saying if you have to, a South African has to have certain percentage of a company to operate in South Africa. Who the heck is Elon Musk to think the South African government have to change that law to fit him so he could oppress your people more? And you're still supporting people like that, and you're calling those people that we know who are not, they have no connection to Africans, and we're diverse people. But then your brothers from Zimbabwe, the neighboring countries, a foreigner, and you're kicking them out. People actually help you fought apartheid, brother. Come on, man. Have some soul in you, man. Have a bit of pride.
Okay.
Have some bit of pride in you, my brother. Please.
What do you know about Monday, April 27, 2026, about Freedom Day in South Africa? What do you know about the president's address coming up and what he's about to say? I left a link in the live in the back. These are things that I don't think people are really savvy enough. However, this address is going to lead to, again, the carbon tax emissions. And y'all going to be shocked. But get ready. If you could, Dynas, if you could, sir, it's a legitimate link. It's with, this is about to go down. This is on the South African org government website. This is going down April 27th, Monday. Big address.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in, guys.
Yeah,
respond.
Yeah, go up, Lebza. And then we gotta close out soon. Go ahead, Lebza.
All right, but I'm not responding to the last guy, né? But I just wanna kind of bring some sense into this whole scenario. It is an awkward scenario, I won't lie. Can I do that? I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I'd actually like to turn this around on my African brothers, because South Africa was like one of the last, if not the last, country in Africa to gain freedom. The guys before gained freedom in like the 60s and 70s at latest. Now, with that time before, up until today, like we have some African brothers in the panel right now who are in England. I don't know why he's there, but generally Africans haven't prioritized building their countries, developing their countries. This has reduced a lot of confidence.
I'll respond to you because you mentioned me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it hasn't earned us a lot of confidence in ourselves as Black people. If say Ghana, being the first country to be independent, shot for the stars after being free, and all the other countries that got free shot for the stars, gained dominance, and then we lost coming through being free, would have had the confidence to shoot for the stars as well. But instead, what we have is Africans who have very little confidence in themselves, in their countries, often leaving, always trying to get out of their countries to go and find better lives outside, and as well as coming to South Africa. What message does this send to the poor, oppressed Black South African?
that, oh, life without these white people is going to be really tough because these guys are even running away and are chasing after the white people, trying to live with the white people. South Africa has white people, so they're trying to come here. They're going to the US, they're going to England. What confidence does that instill in us, if I may ask?
And this is part of the agenda.
Okay.
No,
If you ask me the question,
I said I'm bringing perspective. I said I'm bringing perspective. I'm not trying to make excuses and all of that. I'm just
No, it's
making you
fine. I
understand
understand.
how it is. Check it out. Listen. This is
I
about.
understand.
Look. What?
I'll answer your question.
South
Did you hear my question though? Did you hear my question?
Okay, yeah, I hear your question. Why are we criticizing the same group of people who we run in to live with in their nations? Okay.
I know that was my question. I said, what confidence are we expected to have in ourselves when you guys don't have confidence in yourselves? You guys that were free long before us.
Okay. If you look at this small, if you look at the small tiny country I came from, called Sierra Leone in West Africa, before we had the war in Sierra Leone, you look at our migration pattern, was probably not even time, like probably not even 1% of Sierra Leoneans who left the country. They don't even go to neighboring countries, because we managed to cope well. We had good institutions, we had great infrastructure, good education system where we train other African countries, and help them develop themselves when it comes to education and building institutions. I can actually account for that. And we had visa free. In fact, Sierra Leone is one of the last West African countries who had visa free, to come to the UK. But people used to travel.
Sierra Leone a first world country right now? My question is, Sierra Leone a first world country?
We had a war. Again, if you understand what geopolitics is, if you understand what
do you understand why black people in South Africa do not have confidence in black people?
Okay,
you guys haven't given us that confidence.
Okay,
check it out. Let me finish off because we in South Africa, we don't know much about Sierra Leone. We don't have an influx of Sierra Leoneans. So it's not really about Sierra Leone. Let's not make it about Sierra Leone. This is about South Africa. Okay?
South Africa is the only country in
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
This is not about Sierra Leone.
That's crazy.
We never mentioned Sierra Leone. In fact, it's really about
if anything, we had you guys coming to our land. We don't go to you guys. Yeah,
can I finish? It's not about Sierra Leone. Can you just cut it with Sierra Leone? It's not talking about Sierra Leone. I'm talking about Africa in general. There's 50 countries. We don't even know all of their names. Come on. Can you see people that no one wants to actually listen from a South African?
I heard you speaking all day earlier.
I'm not done. I said in the 2000s, we had Zimbabwe, we had Robert Mugabe, who did the right thing, was sick of white people and kicked them out of their country. That was a time for Zimbabweans to thrive. But instead of
Namibia, Botswana.
Oh goodness! Can you just listen?
I'm listening.
Instead of Zimbabweans doing their thing and showing that actually, if we can get rid of these woods, we would thrive. Instead of doing that, they followed and chased after the white people and came to South Africa where they fled, and they came here. Because whatever their government was giving them hell, wasn't doing the right thing and not building their economy and not distributing the land. So they came here. And then Zimbabweans, instead of they've been here, so then they were even given a special permit to come to South Africa and stay here and sort themselves out so they can go back to Zimbabwe and fix their government and thrive. They've been here for 20 years. This permit is for 6 years.
Do you know Zimbabwe's sanctions?
Jeez.
Do you know Zimbabwe's sanctions? Was
Speaking
Zimbabwe a
about
sanctioned
Zimbabwe,
country?
I'm telling
Okay.
you that South Africa,
Was
the
Zimbabwe
main problem,
sanctioned by?
the main immigrants
Do you
in
understand
South
who your
Africa.
enemies
Look, I
are and
wasn't
who your
talking
friends
to
are?
you. Listen, I wasn't talking to you firstly. I wasn't talking to you. I was explaining to the panel and the audience.
No, I
Stop
understand
making it
why you
about
understand your
yourself.
point. No,
Can you
I'm not
stop
listening.
making it about your country
I
and
don't know why you're
yourself?
trying to avoid me. I don't know why you're trying to avoid me.
Because
You want
you're
to
breaking my flow. I'm actually trying to make a point here, and you're
No, but
busy making it about Sierra
your
Leone.
point is well understood. I'm not mentioning that anymore. I moved away from that. Your
Yeah.
point
So
is well
can you let
understood.
me
Okay.
finish then? Can you let me finish?
All right. Okay, go on.
So Zimbabweans being here, 6-year permit to sort themselves out. Our government kept on renewing it and renewing it and renewing it. It's been over 20 years now. Zimbabweans, not at any single point did Zimbabweans form a party, a movement where Zimbabweans were planning to go back to their oppressive government and take over and do the right thing. Instead, they settled and told themselves that they're the next tribe of South Africa. Okay? And when they came in, being the next tribe, being the quote unquote hopeful next tribe, they came in as okay. Firstly, when we dismantled apartheid, quote unquote, you'll argue that we haven't. Fine. But one of the things that we fought for was minimum wage. Wages were abolished. Okay, and then what Zimbabweans did, they came and undermined that, and they white people were like, you see, Zimbabweans are better. They don't complain about low slave wages. They work hard. They don't have all of these welfare needs or like minimum wage and black economic empowerment. They don't have those expectations. They don't have those requirements. They're more than happy to come and work for nothing and make the best of themselves. Why don't you black South Africans do the same? You black South Africans are lazy. Zimbabweans are hardworking.
All right, can I speak, sir? Because this sounds wild even for the man in
Yeah, I think this is
I'm trying to make you.
Gonna speak
I'm
real
not
quick.
mad at Zimbabweans. I'm not mad. Listen, I'm making you guys understand where all of this came from.
This guy wants
If you guys
slavery
have
back.
no
He's
interest,
talking just like
okay,
that.
so you have no interest in learning where this all comes from. You just want to bash and throw. Of course, it's an awkward situation. I'm not happy that I'm fighting with
IFP
Africans.
is
I'm a
about to condemn
Pan-African.
the killings of 6 people in South Africa.
I am not excusing
Monday.
that. I condemn
Y'all gonna
the
wake up
killing
and
of
see what's about
Africans.
to
I
happen
condemn
tomorrow.
that.
Monday.
Okay,
I condemn the killing of Africans. Or, in fact, I don't know about any killings. Yes, I know people have died, but I know
Y'all
there
gonna
is.
wake up and realize what's about to happen.
Yes, okay, fine. There have been killings, of course. Yes, there have been people who have died in the process. But it's never the what
And this
people
was
want
part of
and
the
agree on.
initiative
Everyone agrees.
that Elon Musk wanted. He wanted y'all to, and this is all
You don't
going
have to
down
tell me
just in,
that. Listen,
just in
you see, the thing
time,
is that you think that you're speaking to a
Julius was
ignoramus.
locked
You
up
think you're
too.
speaking to a person who doesn't know the
Bro,
stuff.
take the sugar out your voice. I'm speaking
What's
for
the
man.
sugar?
Yeah,
You're the one who's
South African brother, I think
talking about the sugar.
you gotta have
we
some
understood.
base. Have some base.
We understand you now, okay?
Pull out your pad.
I think we understand the point.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
Yeah, I mean, my South African brother, we
pathetic.
understood you now, okay? We understand you now. We got your points, all right? But all we're trying to say is, just because you want to live a better life, stop inviting our enemies, as neighbors. Stop doing it, and actually removing the people the people who call themselves native of the continent of Africa. In fact, if you look at, are you San, are you Khoi or Sang or Bantu?
Wait a minute, bro. This is the mistake also Americans like making, and I don't know
No,
why.
but are you Khoi, are you Sang, or you Bantu? Which one are you? Which one are you?
Wait, calm down. This is the same mistake that Americans like making, bro, and you are promoting it. Americans like to think that Africans are a monolith. that we are all the same. We are not all the same.
Yeah, but
There are
we're not
54
Indians. We don't have
countries in
Indian
Africa.
people in the continent of
There are,
Africa.
wait, calm down.
How
There are,
dare you call
no,
Indian people
the
South
dynamics of
Africans?
South Africa are not supposed to be the same as Sierra Leone.
We don't
Is
care
that
about
clear?
dynamics. We don't care. They're not
So,
native to the
okay, that's your
continent.
problem.
So why are you
In South
calling them?
Africa,
You
we
know,
do,
it's our problem because it's
unfortunately,
our
that's our
continent.
reality.
It's our
This is our
continent. If
reality
you're
in South
Bantu, you're not
Africa,
native to
and
South
we
Africa
like,
neither.
no,
Do
bro,
you know
you
the
can't force
Bantus
us
are not
to be
the
like
Bantu
you.
migrated to
You
South
can't
Africa? You
force
know
us
that.
to be like you, bro. You
Do
can't
you know
force
the
us to be
Bantu
like you.
migrated to South
This is
Africa?
our
They're not
country,
native
and
to
we
the
choose
continent.
our own destiny. You can't force
Which
us to
country?
be like you.
You don't own South Africa. You
That's
migrated
none
there
of
like
your
the other
business.
Africans.
Okay, but that's
No,
none of your
but I'm not
business.
going to mind my business.
That's
It's
our
just the truth.
concern.
You migrated there like the other
That's
Africans.
our
It's not your
concern.
country. It's not your
It has
country.
nothing to do
It's
with
your.
you.
It's everybody's continent. Africa, Sub-Saharan
No,
Africa,
it's not.
Black
Yes,
Africa.
everyone,
Yes,
but
it's
everyone has their
everybody's
own
continent. Thank
country.
you. So why
Everyone
are you
has their
inviting
own
foreigners,
country.
non-native Africans
Everyone
as
has their
Africans,
own
and then you
country,
call
bro.
the African people non-Africans? Why are you
Bro, everyone
playing
has
at?
their own country.
And your
Watch
accent
what
actually
happens
speak
watch
also.
what happens when y'all get punished for the Monsani family slaying. Y'all gonna watch. You're gonna see how powerful. You're gonna see how powerful them Indian
Exactly.
folks were. You're gonna see how
Exactly.
powerful them Indian folks were.
I can't
And
talk
then
to
you,
all of
and
you at the same time.
Y'all in trouble.
no, we had
Damn,
you,
they trouble.
bro. We
Y'all in
had
trouble.
you.
Yes.
I think we had enough.
Hey, the man on the high castle.
Man,
When did that happen? When did that happen with those killings?
It just happened the other day ago. So
What killings is he talking about? What
and it's
killings?
picked up traction. All I
do
gotta
you
say,
know
y'all better
that
start reading the news. But
What
it's
I've
killings are
already
you
crazy?
said
talking
People are
about?
they're mad. They're
delineation
mad
is very
crazy.
holy. It's time to
Wait,
delineate over there. Y'all
Africa,
can
please.
delineate too.
Yeah. Are
Let,
you South African? Are you Bantu or Khoisan? Which one are you?
I'm the man in the high castle, and I'm
No, the
proud
South African. No, the
American.
South African.
bro,
Are
I
you
can't hear.
Bantu?
I can't listen to two people at the same time. One should
Are
speak.
you Bantu or
Delineation
okay?
is
1
holy.
second. Men in the high class.
Delineation
1
is
second.
ordained by
I
God.
Yeah,
can't
is
hear
it
you guys. Can one keep
my
quiet,
South
please?
African brother? Is me. Yeah. Are you Bantu, Khoisan, or a Khoi or Sang? Which one are you?
I'm a mixture of both, bro.
He's a color.
What? Mixture of what? No,
That's a color.
mixture of
No, I'm
what?
That's a
black
colored
actually.
answer. He's a
I am
colored
black,
No, are
answer.
you okay?
but ancestrally I do have some Khoisan blood in me.
Okay. So I am starting to doubt that now because the reason why I'm starting to doubt that is basically your argument, how your argument started, and how you. I'm not stupid. Listen, bro. Okay. Khoisan, the Khoi, the San, I understand they are native to the land. Okay, now I can say, yeah, you're native. But don't forget the Bantu also are native to the land. However, they migrated there. Okay, the place called South Africa.
Bro,
You go back.
I don't.
Yeah.
We don't need
Hold on, brother. You had to go with me for
South
interrupting me earlier.
Africa, we
Please don't.
know who we are. We don't need you to
Thank
tell us
you.
who we are.
So
We know who we are. You can't tell us about our history.
why are you
You
inviting
can't
non-native
rewrite
people
our
to the
history for us.
continent of
We know who
Africa?
we are.
Why are you inviting the non-native as Africans? Who are the true? Why are you inviting the enemies
Which
in our land
non-native?
and actually kicking our people out?
Which non-natives are you talking about?
No, why are you? I'm talking about the Indians. The Indian in South Africa, they're not Africans. Why are you letting them
I
settle in the land? Why are
explained
you inviting them?
in the beginning. I explained that Indians have been here for almost 300 years.
It does
They
not
know
matter. Do
the
you think?
Indians. Wait, no, don't. It doesn't matter to you.
Do you know that?
It's
Is there
your
any such thing
problem.
as
Don't
Black
make it
European?
our
Is there
problem.
anything as
It's your
no?
problem.
It's my problem because Africa is my continent.
Yeah,
South
we
Africa is
don't
not
care.
my
Then we have
country.
South
Well,
Africa.
Africa
South
is my
Africa is our
continent.
country.
So
South
you
Africa is
therefore
our
are
country.
traitors. So just admit that you are a traitor to the entire African race.
No, it's not. It's nothing to do
For your own
about being
selfish
traitors.
reason. Because
No, we
listen,
were
what you're trying
helping
to say
you.
to me. But
Hey,
listen,
brother,
what you're trying to say to me is
Africa.
Mansa. What this guy is trying to say to me is because they're inept, unable to develop themselves as a nation, as a group of people. Okay, so they're so inferior that they rely on other people to help them develop, so they could actually beg them for
You couldn't
living
develop
and
your
actually
own.
Yeah, he
beg on the
said all
crop.
that, sir.
I
You
He
have.
said
also
all
couldn't
that.
develop
Yeah.
your own. You are in UK. You ran away. You couldn't develop
Therefore,
your own. You're not any.
Africa.
You're not better.
listen. I ran away from war. Okay, go on. Yeah,
No,
Mansa.
I was just gonna say too was was some South Africans they told me they said that they'll prefer the Afrikaner than someone from Lesotho, someone from Zimbabwe. They're more closer
They
to that
do. You can
person
tell
than
how this
the
guy
board
It's
speaks.
than
It's
true.
easier.
You won't lie. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thank
yeah.
you.
You are
You
won't lie
see?
to
I
you.
mean,
It is very true.
Oh my God. Look at that.
It has
How
nothing.
embarrassing.
bro, let me tell you the facts. I'll be honest with you. Compared to Afrikaners and Lesotho, Afrikaners contribute positively to our economy compared to Lesotho. So there's no way we'll prefer someone who doesn't bring value
Just
over someone
because
who
someone
doesn't bring value.
contributes,
There's
listen,
no way.
just because someone contributes to your economy, basically just because someone is able to steal from you and steal your land and
No one is
oppress
stealing
you
anything. How
and
did
give
they?
you the crumbs.
Which land is
No,
stolen?
hold on. Just because
Which
someone
land
is
was
able to
stolen?
steal your land, oppress you, yeah, and give
Which
you the
land was
crumbs does
stolen?
not
You
make
know
them
nothing about South Africa, bro. You can't tell me about South Africa.
90
I've lived here all my
90% of
whole life.
90% of South Africans live in the shanties. Okay, they don't live in a normal home.
91.
They're highly on drugs.
90 what?
Africa.
You know where I live now.
Yeah.
Africa.
How do you know that I live in a shanty?
Honestly,
How do you know that I live in a
You
shanty?
live as a stranger in your own home. Yeah.
I was
You're
gonna say
talking things you don't know, bro. You don't
at
know
this
South
point,
Africa. You've never been here, I'm sure.
You see how I know, and my brother, the man from the High Castle, know. At this point, if that's what he wants, let him be.
Can I ask him a question, Li? One question.
Go on.
And it's you would be very helpful answering this. This
Okay,
is
no
nothing
problem.
sarcastic either.
No problem,
sir. When is the first time? Have you ever had? Okay. Have you ever had? What's the first pleasant experience you had with Africana, and how old were you?
Oh, I was really young. I think I was in I don't know what you call it in America. Is it when I was like 4? It's like crash. We call it crash here. One of my first few friends was an Afrikaner. My first teacher, actually a person who taught me how to read and write, was an Afrikaner.
Hey guys, we could do a part 2, but I gotta close out because I have to go. But we could do a part 2 tomorrow. But I have to go. Everyone, thank you so much for joining.
No problem,
Subscribe to the Next Time Family Dynasty Research for Rule. Peace.
All right, but